and I met you in the foyer. You was reading the newspaper, and you took the picture and you says, bloody hell, right, he's got more gold teeth than you. But anyway, that was a quick one. No, I think it's a disgrace as Scholes and Butt are talking, to be honest, Jim. Let's be honest, like you just touched on, the worst Premiership team was the last team Fergie won the league with. Because if you remember, Fergie left, Moyes came in, and that team after that got absolutely pelted. Couldn't defend nothing, absolutely dross. So how can he sit there and talk about if this Arsenal team wins the league, it's the worst team to ever win it? No. And let's talk about it realistically. Leicester City should never have won the Premiership. They should never have won the Premiership. So how can you sit there and say, oh, if this Arsenal team wins, it's the worst Arsenal team? Like the previous caller said, Chelsea, parking buses, Jose Mourinho, winning at all costs. Nobody questioned Jose. Nobody questioned Jose when he wins at all costs.
Anthony, who had more gold teeth? You or Martin Keown?
No, I didn't have any of it.
Oh, you didn't have any?
It was Ian Wright.
Ian Wright did.
But I've still got the book, Martin, and I never forget it because you're a legend, a real legend.
It's very kind.
I don't forget the things that you used to do to Emil Esky as well, because I know Emil personally, and he says you used to rough him up on the pitch when the ref weren't looking. But fair play to
Can't comment on that.
Dreadful. I mean, yeah, Emil Esky / everyone.
Emil was a great guy.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Jean-Philippe Mateta could be forgiven for worrying he'll never pass another medical after his failed Milan move. Charlie Austin went through something similar when he tried to go from Burnley to Hull, but he doesn't expect Mateta's performances to suffer.
When he comes back, he'll want to come back and hopefully just start playing, performing, because like I said, just because he's stayed at Palace, his still eyes are on that World Cup squad.
This as Palace are accused of toying with Dwight McNeil's mental health. His partner, Megan Sharpley, posted to say they didn't explain why they backed out of his loan from Everton, which caused tears, emotion and distress. Eddie Howe insists he's not worried about a repeat of the Isak saga with Sandro Tonali. There were suggestions the Italian was offered to the Gunners by his agent. Newcastle's Carabao Cup trip to City is live on talkSPORT tomorrow evening. Next, Gabby Agbonlahor has told Christian Romero to forget about transfers and concentrate on his own game.
His performances this season have been very poor. Yes, he scored goals, important goals, but his job is to defend and he's been poor at it. How about you worry about how you're playing and your performances, your leadership as a captain?
Romero's complained on social media that Spurs' lack of signings is disgraceful. Should Scotland be tempting Harvey Barnes to switch allegiances ahead of the World Cup? Here's our very own Ali McCoist.
We are not in a position, mate, that we can knock back good players, and good players want good players around them. Yeah. Harvey, let's go.
And Ukraine's foreign minister says Gianni Infantino is a moral degenerate. The FIFA president's been talking about lifting a ban on Russia despite their illegal invasion of Ukraine, which continues to cost lives on both sides. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Tories could force a crunch vote in Parliament tomorrow on Lord Mandelson and his links to Jeffrey Epstein. And new documents allege Andrew told the disgraced paedophile he wanted to be his pet. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Come rain or shine, we've got your electric car covered with 400 EV ready centres, so you can drive away happy every time.
Rain moving northwards throughout the afternoon. Hill snow in Wales and Scotland.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT, where this afternoon I can see clearly Andy has not taken a look at his intro this afternoon, so all bets are off. How's he going to get on? What's coming up over the next 3 hours, Andy?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll look at the Windows winners and losers. We'll discover more about why Cristiano has downed tools. Former Spurs defender Ramon Vega makes a plea to the club's owners. And Manchester United supporting King of the Jungle, Angry Ginge, tells us whether after the Carrick takeover, he's now just Ginge.
Maybe he's just Ginge.
That was perfect, wasn't it?
That honestly surprisingly good. Maybe you should just not ever read it. Former England spinner Gareth Batty also pops in to preview today's final Sri Lanka-England T20, which is live ball by ball on talkSPORT 2 in around 25 minutes' time. And it's a first as we enter the world of electric unicycle polo.
Of course we do. There's all this plus Arsenal legend David O'Leary on tonight's Carabao Cup second leg against Chelsea. We'll chat to the headmaster who's ditched school uniform for sportswear with surprising results. And we'll hear from Harry Kane's official schnitzel supplier.
Yeah, the official schnitzel supplier for Harry Kane. That's all coming up, 7 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul.
Did you watch the game last night?
I did, actually.
It was,
well, I watched the second half.
Talk about a stroll for Sunderland. I mean, Burnley, I mean, Scott Parker said they were bad. Carl Walker laid into them. They were just terrible last night.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So, not looking good, is it, really?
Not good, I'm afraid, no.
What are their chances of survival? 0-3-7, though. Let's not bother with that, really. I think we all know the answer, don't we? But, well done to Sunderland. There were some cracking goals last night. They were lovely.
I counted one shot from Brighton. Mind you, we had both teams.
From Brighton? I was watching. Brian Brobby. No, we didn't get our.
It didn't come off, did it?
It didn't come off. I'm blaming Fern once again, but probably she was the only one who got it right.
No, I think she was both teams to score. That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And reading about Cristiano Ronaldo, I wish he'd make it all about him a bit more, don't you?
Yeah. I just think he's such a selfless lad. He's just not like him. Honestly. It's not like him. I want 1,000 goals, so he's been stamping his foot. Look, we're going to ask Ben Jacobs. We're going to talk transfers, but we'll ask him about that. So the window, Andy, the window slammed shut.
Yeah,
were you expecting any late business last night for your club?
No, I knew they weren't going to do anything.
What was the sole? What did you do? Ins and outs window was or ins? What ins did you have? I can't
just
think.
The centre half from Strasbourg,
who's kind of Mamadou Sarr, yeah.
And they got rid of a few youth players. Tariq George went to Everton. Yeah,
we decided to send one of our young strikers up to Hibs in Dane Scarlett, and then sign an even younger striker from Hearts on loan. So work that one out.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, what Romero says, it can be open to Argentinian impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing is that he's had enough time in the 12 hours or so since posting that. And it's a semantic thing, isn't it? That as Fletch was saying in the bulletin, everybody's seized on the fact he used "it's a disgrace," so he's having a pop at the recruitment. Yeah. But the word, as we've been told, can mean in Spanish, disappointing, can't it? It can mean.
But he could have.
As a Spanish speaker who spends time in Argentina, Andy, you can verify that.
Oh, I can, yes.
Yeah. But
so
the fact he hasn't come out and said, that's not what I meant, maybe suggests that's what he meant. Can I make a plea, please, to Vinay Venkateshan, the CEO at Tottenham? He's probably sitting down today to write his programme notes for the Newcastle game next week, in which he'll say, we tried to sign this player. We tried to get Van Dijk out of Liverpool. We tried to sign Declan Rice, but we couldn't get him over. We tried to sign... Veen, don't. It just winds us all up. We don't want to hear it. We're bored with it. I was just thinking that we've got to dare is to do, of course, is Tottenham's Latin phrase. I've got a Latin phrase for Enoch that they need to be putting on all their stationery.
Oh, right? Yeah, what is it?
From there on, I mean, it's going to cost them a few quid, and it's money they could probably spend on players, but probably wouldn't. But this Latin phrase for our good friends at Enoch, let me find it for you now. Verba sunt vilia. So it should say Enoch, verba sunt vilia, which means talk is cheap.
Oh, yes.
So the ultimate talk is cheap business. We're not interested in your platitudes about why we didn't get that player or that player. We're going to spend it all in the summer. Yeah, Chenny Recon. We've been here before for years and years. So just don't bother. Do not bother.
The trouble is,
because we don't care and we're not interested.
It's an incredibly loyal fan base that loves the club, and they love the stadium. You're not going to get a situation. The only thing that will affect them is if people stop going, but that's not going to happen.
This is the thing. Look, it's nice it being in a nice stadium, but I would quite happily have spent the money on the team and stayed in the old place, because the old place had a charm of its own.
Oh, yeah, very much
It's not.
so.
it's not as if the extra money that we've generated has changed the wage structure at the club. It's not seen us spend more money on players. It's not seen us compete. So what was the point? The whole point of it was we could compete on a completely different level. And they might say in 5 or 6 years when it's still paying out, we can. We're generating more cash than lots of clubs.
What it does do is make the club very sellable.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk to Ramon Vega a little bit later on, who's I mean, he's a very angry... He played for Spurs for a fair old time, but he does get very angry about what's going on, and I tend to agree with what he said today. Just sell the club. If you've got no sporting ambition... I mean, I suppose they're waiting for the optimum moment. I've never thought that ENIC have got any sporting ambition from the moment that Joe Lewis went in there. I mean, he come and watch a game every 5 years. At least the Cronkies... And even Bowley, they've got skin in the game. They care about sport. They want sporting success. I've never, ever sensed that about ENIC from day one. So, I mean, look, they're going to say we're going to sit on it and make our money. We've seen enough owners do that. But if you're not interested in winning anything, you don't care about sporting glory, you just be honest about it. Stop pretending you are, because, I mean, I think we're all sick of it and no one's buying it.
They're never going to do that, are they? You know that.
So anyway, Ramon's going to join us for a chat later. Ben Jacobs is going to join us. Gareth Batty's popping in first because we've got T20 cricket for you over on talkSPORT 2 and the Cricket YouTube channel. It's gone rather well, these series in Sri Lanka, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been
done
playing,
all right.
yeah, they've been doing all right, actually. Not too bad, so I'm looking forward to it. This whole leg of the tour has been a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm quite intrigued by the relationship between Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian.
It's been making the front page of the tabloids. Yeah, they're stepping out, aren't they?
I love this reaction from Ellie Henman, the bizarre editor of The Sun. She said, they could be about to become the perfect it couple, but is Lewis the man to mend Kim's broken heart? When I first took the call about their top secret hotel date on Saturday evening, I gasped.
Wow. Do people do that?
Do people still gasp?
Does anything surprise you in the world of showbiz anymore? Nothing should
really,
surprise you in the world of showbiz.
I didn't gasp.
I bet they make a lovely couple.
I think they will. I love the other bit in the Sunday.
She's got dogs, hasn't she? He's got a dog. We know his little dog.
She's got dough, is what she's got.
I mean,
Kardash versus Kardash, they called it. Which is great.
Will the dogs get on? This is the thing. If the dogs don't get on, I can't see it lasting 5 minutes.
I hadn't realised how wealthy she is. She's worth 1.3 billion.
Well, what do you think? She was on the bins. She's Kim Kardashian. What do you think? Does a little bit of bar work in the evenings, clearing up pots.
I knew she had a few bob, but 1.3 billion.
I knew she had a few. Kim Kardashian,
Lewis has only got 385 million.
It's an absolutely massive show. She's got all sorts of cosmetic lines and fashion lines. She's made a fortune.
Well, you know. So,
I knew she had a few bob. I knew she could, yeah. She was doing all right.
All right, yeah, not too bad.
Yes, we did mention this yesterday. Alex Crook, and to Jim Daly, the comedian, the Palace supporting comedian who joined us. Bit of making up to do for Jean-Philippe Mateta because he's going to be there for another 6 months.
Yeah, but you know, football. He comes on, he scores a goal, everybody forgives him.
Yeah, I saw old mate Bruce Millington, the former Racing Post editor, saying at least he won't be standing here waving his arms trying to get the crowd going. You know, he'll have some neck doing that.
No.
If you've ever to go back, if you've got tales of having to go back with your tail between your legs, and in what circumstances, please tell us this afternoon. Talksport.com.
Yeah, not easy for him. But...
/H&J. You can text to 81089. You can tweet to TSH&J. That's TSHANDJ. 03717223344. Harry Kane gets a free schnitzel dinner after he scores a goal for Bayern Munich.
I do wonder how much of it he actually eats. It's not the most... Well, it's a lovely thing, but not the most healthy.
The man that supplies them operates from a hotel very close to where Harry lives. And Harry's been asked about it, and he did say, well, he probably didn't expect me to score so many goals. But our guest, Stefan Katzner, will join us later on. He'll tell us why he's quite happy to keep supplying the schnitzels, because he's a big Bayern fan. So that's a hard-hitting news agenda today. We'll keep you in touch with the cricket. We'll look back on the winners and losers of the windows. We'll have the teacher, Dame Dorothy's primary school in Sunderland. This is a really interesting story. They have ditched the old traditional school uniform for kind of sportswear. It's a uniform, but it's sort of leisure sportswear.
Yeah.
So not only have the kids been going out and sort of playing more and getting a little bit fitter and healthier because they're in those clothes, which they probably couldn't, although it didn't stop us in the playground as kids, did it?
I know, but yeah, we used to wear leather shoes and trousers.
Yeah.
But no, it'd be better to be in sports.
It's encouraged certainly the girls who didn't feel always comfortable doing that in the old traditional school uniform. And academically, things are picked up. So we're going to have a chat with Ed Master to tell us more about that. Frank Smith, CEO of Matchroom's, popping in. They've got some interesting stuff going on. They've got Wood Warrington 2. They've put out a very funny promo video.
It's good. It's very
for the
amusing.
fight. Josh and Lee. So we'll chat to Frank about that. Angry Ginge joins us, King of the Jungle, big Manchester United fan, mate of Luke Littler's.
Incredible success.
He's going to tour school. He's going to try his hand at the darts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have a chat with Ginge a little bit later. David O'Leary, head of tonight's game. We'll get Andy's thoughts on that later on. We're here with our very good friends at Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station. Tottenham 2, Manchester City 2, a result I didn't really expect at all at half-time. The sad thing was,
game of two halves.
I know there was a lot of talk about the atmosphere, but the atmosphere wasn't angry in that first half. I think we all looked at the team and thought, wow, we could get it, our backsides handed to us here. And then the team kind of lived down to our expectations in the first half. And it was very flat. It was an apathetic, flat performance. We had no expectations. And then they suddenly came alive in the second half, and it doesn't take much. It just takes a bit of intent, just a little bit of belief, and the place was transformed.
The professional football people, of which I certainly don't count you two and myself, there's an illusion that the crowd must lift the team. The thing that works, and really the only thing that ever really, really works, with one or two exceptions, maybe the Leeds crowd can lift their team occasionally, is the team lifts the crowd, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Sure.
The two most important moments in that game, one was invisible and one did not result in a goal. The invisible one was the save by Vicario from Ryan Cherky, which was given as a goal kick. If that had gone in, it could have been anything by half-time. The goalkeeper got no credit for it, but he stopped it and changed the game. And the second one, the moment the game changes, is when Spurs come out, depleted further by the loss of their captain.
One needed from 3 balls. Sam Curran has smashed this up and over. Long on for 6. England seal the victory in some style. Leonardo dropping one short. Curran took it on, and that's the game. England win by 6 wickets on DLS. They take the series 2-0 with 1 to play. And truth be told, Shoes, they've just been too strong for Sri Lanka today and in that first T20.
Yeah, that's the way it finished in the second T20. It's the third and final one today. England looking for the clean sweep. Before we chat to Gareth Batt, he's part of our a commentary team, bringing you that live over on talkSPORT 2 from 1:30. Let's check in with Sam Ellard to set the scene and details of the toss. Hi, Sam.
Raining, that's good.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, thankfully we got no rain so far, so we are set to start in 10 minutes' time. England win the toss and bat first in the first 2 T20s, which England won. They chase, so a chance for Harry Brook and his side to try and set a target today. Phil Salt misses out with a back spasm, so Ben Duckett comes into the team. He's carded to open with Joss Buttler. Interestingly, Duckett missed the first 2 matches himself with a finger problem, which allowed Tom Banton to bat in the middle order, and he's gone pretty well so far in the first couple of games. So Duckett's going to open, and Jofra Archer rested for the final T20 of the series. Luke Wood comes in for him. So again, Duckett and Butler to open. Middle order stays the same. Bethel, Banton, Brook, Curran, Jacks. The 2 seamers, Jamie Overton and Luke Wood. And once again, Dawson and Rashid will be the 2 spinners. England have successfully defended a target in the last 5 times in a row. They batted first in a T20 international. England's final game before the World Cup starts on Sunday. Third and final T20 starts in 8 minutes' time. England winning the toss, and they're going to bat first.
Thanks very much, Sam. Sam's going to be keeping us updated. As we said, it's going to be live over on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT YouTube channel. You can watch it all unfold and listen, of course, but we'll keep you updated. Gareth Batty, the former England spinner, Surrey coach, is part of our commentary team. Hi, Gareth.
Good afternoon. How are we doing?
Good to see you, yeah. So a couple of changes then. What do you make of the team today?
I think it's opportunity knocks for the 2 lads that come in. Duckett has had the injury, which allowed Banton in and had a great game last game, 50-odd man of the match. Jofra Archer rested, which is kind of smart, keep him healthy going into a World Cup. But Luke Wood, is the first name on a lot of franchise team sheets. England have a lot of very good white ball players, and you never know, he might just create a real selection headache. The left arm is generally 30% better than right arm, as if we're looking at stats and numbers. If he swings it back in as well, new ball, it's a different asset for England to have moving forward.
Still relying on Adil Rashid. He's brilliant bowler, isn't he? Wonderful, but he's 37 now. We could do with somebody else coming through.
Who is coming through, Gareth? This is your speciality.
I mean, there are a few good young spinners around, but you don't learn the skills that Adil Rashid has without playing the games, without being around a long time. So if we look at it, it's probably his last 4 or 5 years that he has been arguably the best spinner in world cricket, in white ball cricket. He's wonderful in his command of length and speed through the air and his variations. We just need to allow some time. We do have some young players. We've got a young lad who's playing for the England under-19s. Ralphie Albert is a Surrey boy, and apologies for that. Sort of shooting my
He's Jimmy White's grandson, isn't he?
He is Jimmy White's grandson, but he's a left-arm spinner. I mean, I'm not going to start going down and putting young kids on the block because we need to give them some time.
Yeah.
And let's hope that Adil Rashid, just playing white ball cricket, allows him to extend his career, keep the body healthy. If England look after him, his skill set is second to none in the world, which is a massive thing for England to have that sort of prowess in the spin department. Let's look after him. Let's extend his career.
Yeah.
Harry Brook's been captaining the team this leg of the tour, or this leg of winter. And he seems to be doing better, and also his own batting, his own performances seem to be a bit more measured than they were in Australia. What do you make of how he's going?
He's an interesting one, isn't he? Because he set the world by storm in Test cricket. His numbers are wonderful. In 50-over cricket, his numbers are wonderful. He hasn't played as much T20 cricket in the world that we live in, which is strange. But he's that good. He's going to adapt. He's going to find his way. It's also been a very difficult time with all the pressures of the Ashes and then the fallout of the odd misdemeanour. It's actually turning him into a man and understanding how I deliver when the pressure's on me, which we see in all forms of sport. Those are the guys really, and the ladies, whatever sport it is, those are the people that you hang your hat on. If they're under the pump and they still come out with those performances, those are the people that, okay, we need to get around, we need to help certain situations and so we don't make the mistakes. But it's the sort of person that is going to turn good tournaments into great tournaments where you end up with a trophy.
Some of the journalists calling for his head. I'm showing you a headline here, and it's really incredible. It's like these writers have forgotten what it was like when they were kids. They never did anything like this at all, of course.
I mean, look, what he did, I mean...
It wasn't great.
Covering up for other players, he was just getting his mates back. I mean, I think people can understand that. On one level, he made a mistake. He should have been honest, but he was doing it for the right reasons. That's kind of my reading of it.
That's how I read it as well.
20 years ago, we might have said, actually, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Times have changed. The world has changed. Absolutely. The fact is, he's now putting his hands up. He's there for everybody to throw whatever they want, throw mud, and he's kind of going, yeah, okay, I'll own it, and I'll keep putting in performances. I think that's kind of something now that we need to go, okay, enough's enough. We saw it with Beckham, didn't we, years ago?
Yeah.
Flying foot, and all of a sudden is the point of difference. So you have to go through certain things.
It was interesting, Sam Curran there getting the winning runs. In that first game we were on air when it was on, he had 2 terrible overs. I think
he came back
20
strong.
and then gets a hat-trick. It's been a funny old series for him, hasn't it?
It's weird because in the last sort of 2 years, he's made his name and really elevated his name more for batting at 4 and 5 in franchise cricket and winning games and being that man at the end. England have kind of turned it on its head. He's found himself batting 6, 7, 8 in the 50 over stuff and T20. So the way he's sort of got himself back into the shop window has been taken away a bit, and he's back into the sort of second string, as it were, as he's bowling. I think today the balance of the team with having 6, 7 options is better, because then you'll put Sam with his bowling options in the right place and he will have a real good effect for England. But actually he's starting to get his batting back to the fore. He's more of a batter that bowls now as opposed to when he was a younger man, he was a bowler that batted.
Yeah. And finally, are you feeling quite confident about the World Cup? We hear today that Josh Hazlewood's going to miss the start of it for the Aussies. It's sad for him, but bit of a positive maybe for England. But are you feeling pretty confident going into that?
I think England have the best consistent group of 2020 players in the world right now, which there'll be a few people in India raising their eyebrows. But if you look at the numbers that back up our players, England just need to get the formula. And if they get the formula right, they certainly have all the ammunition in the world. Absolutely.
It's a bit of a lottery T20, though, isn't it? One great performance can turn a game. Same with bowling.
Yeah, but I suppose it helps that we have got people that can step up. We've got a lot of individuals who can turn a game, England, haven't we?
It could be interesting.
Finite window, isn't it?
Yeah.
6 balls is totally different to 6 overs.
Yeah.
So it's all magnified. But if you planned, it's definitely the best format.
Well, we'll let you get back to the team and get to work. Thank you very much, Gareth, for popping in.
Great to see you, man.
See you soon. That's Gareth Batty there, Surrey coach, former England spinner. And you can hear live and exclusive ball-by-ball commentary of this third T20 between Sri Lanka and England. Right now, the build-up's going on. They're going to be underway in a couple of minutes' time on talkSPORT 2 and the cricket YouTube channel here at talkSPORT. And you can get the following on podcast, all the best reaction, once it's finished. We'll bring you a live over a little bit later on. You can head over to the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel or listen on the talkSPORT app. And we'll keep you updated with Sam Ellard once play gets underway in a few moments' time. We're going to have a chat with Ben Jacobs, the winners and losers of the window. He'll bring us the very latest on Cristiano Ronaldo, who's written slave on his cheek.
Oh, yes.
No, he hasn't. Not done a Prince just yet.
I almost believed it.
Ramon Vega on a call for the Tottenham ownership to leave and hand it over to somebody who actually wants to win things. And we'll be entering the world of electric polo, talking boxing with Frank Smith from Matchroom. And, the official schnitzel supplier to Harry Kane, plus Angry Ginge, all still to come this afternoon.
Sad, isn't it? Sad. You know what I mean? I'm still shaking my head. You know what I mean? Would you do it again? I bloody will do it again. Actually, I think if I had been a bit more mobile, I might have done a knee slide. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That would have only got me a yellow as well.
Ah, David. So he got booked, Simon. He got booked, Martin, and he was. I mean, a lot of that I think is tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, if they say, okay, we'll make in special cases you can come out your technical area. No.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, the fact that it looks like a cross between David Pleat on a mobility scooter is a problem for him.
Or David Pleat.
Yeah, but the fact is that the technical area is big enough for them to celebrate in. It's been made bigger than back in the day when you had managers that meant as much to them. Back in the day, you didn't see Bob Paisley doing a knee slide, did you? The fact is that if you let a manager do this, then they'll take it to the next level.
Did Mourinho not do it in midweek then?
Well,
it's a bit of emotion.
Inconsistency. No, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's no need for managers to go on a pitch at the end of a game. There's no need for managers to run on the pitch and celebrate. They've got a plenty big enough technical area, and the reasons why I say that it's not as mean-spirited as David would want to perpetuate the idea that it is that if you give them this yard, they'll take the next yard, then they'll take the next yard, then they'll take the next yard, and then something will happen, and all of a sudden people say, "Why don't you stop it at source?"
I'm watching it.
I didn't want to be mean-spirited.
I'm watching it on a wheel here, and he's so into himself. He's not goading anybody. This is the manager of Everton Football Club celebrating
waiting for his hip to
a late goal. Do you know? And it's quite brilliant, really. To be honest, he's just caught in the moment. I don't think we should be punishing him for that.
But is there okay? So what do you want then? Do you want subjectivity? You want rules or not want rules? Because you don't like subjectivity, and they.
We're told Jean-Philippe Mateta's failed move to Milan shouldn't affect his performances for Palace, as his eyes are firmly on a World Cup place with France. Charlie Austin went through something similar at Hull and told us how Mateta might be feeling.
When he comes back, he'll want to come back and hopefully just start playing, performing, because like I said, just because he's stayed at Palace, his still eyes are on that World Cup squad. Another deal that's off, N'Golo Kante is not going to Fenerbahce. Saudi Pro League officials didn't sign off it following Benzema's departure from Kante's club Al Ittihad to Al Hilal. Now, here's what Gabby Agbonlahor thinks the Spurs hierarchy should be saying to Christian Romero.
Leave transfers, leave what's happening with players coming into us. And like you says, why are you kicking up a fuss a couple of hours before the window closes? Why not 2 weeks ago?
Romero's called Spurs' lack of available players a disgrace on social media. Tonight's championship match between Portsmouth and Ipswich has been called off again, this time due to a waterlogged pitch. And without wishing to get lost down conspiracy cul-de-sac, Simon Jordan's wondering if Donald Trump has Infantino's ear over lifting a ban on Russia.
Is Trump using political influence, given the fact the World Cup's held in America, to start the dialogue that starts to reintegrate Russia back as part of the arsenal of conversations that he's going to have with Putin to settle this war and ultimately make himself a hero in that particular scenario? Yeah, possibly.
Gianni Infantino said the football ban on Russia hasn't worked as their invasion of Ukraine continues. Ukraine's foreign ministers called FIFA's president a moral degenerate. More on that at talkSPORT.com.
Well, they are underway in that third and final T20 between Sri Lanka and England. There's been a very early wicket for Sri Lanka. Sam Ellard has all the details.
Yeah, there was possible start with the second legal delivery of the innings. Ben Duckett goes for a golden duck. It's Chimera to Duckett. It was smacked on the pad by a big in-swinger. The appeal was turned down by the umpire. It looked really, really close. There was it took Sri Lanka a long time to review it, but Dasan Shanika did review it after some indecision, and Duckett was smacked on the knee roll of the back pad. And yeah, the ball was crashing into middle stump. So Duckett goes for a golden duck. I think before this 3-match T20 series, lots of people had Duckett carded in at 4 in this England team. He missed the first 2 matches because of a finger problem. Banton replaced him for those matches and got runs at 4. Now Duckett comes in for Salt at the top of the order and gets a golden duck. So I think Ben Duckett will be sweating on his place in the team for the first game of the World Cup on Sunday. So Butler's 2 from 2, Bethel's 1 from 1. We've got 2 balls left of the first over. Duckett goes for a golden duck, and England are 4 for 1.
Yeah,
Thank you very much,
I
Sam.
definitely play Salt and wouldn't bother with him, really. He's too out of form. He's in and out, and it's just not really happening for him.
And as Gareth Baby was just saying, they have got an embarrassment of riches, haven't they? Anyway, let's move on. We'll keep an eye on that. It's live over on talkSPORT 2, Ball by Ball, and on the Cricket YouTube channel. Let's winners and losers of the window, and Cristiano Ronaldo, a man well placed to talk about both, is Ben Jacobs. Good afternoon, Ben.
Good afternoon.
What a quiet day. I did feel for Jim and Danny and the gang last night, and Crookie.
It was underwhelming.
By the end, they were playing cards. Yeah. No, it was. Probably quieter than any of us imagined. We probably expected. We got so used to these coming out of nowhere deals, but there was none of that really, was there?
Yeah, I mean, Saudi was the big story. I'm sure we'll talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, but him boycotting a game and then Karim Benzema moving from Al Ittihad to Al Hilal, plus the fact that N'Golo Kante was supposed to go to Fenerbahce, but there was a paperwork problem, so that deal was off. Pretty dramatic, I think. Jean-Philippe Mateta, Milan move being called off, Palace still proceeding with Jorgen Strand-Larsen, but not many huge stories. The Dwight McNeil deal to Crystal Palace was quite intriguing because it got called off also at the last moment, and I know that McNeil and his family were not happy about it. But as you say, quite a quiet day.
Yeah, I mean, they said it was paperwork, wasn't it? The paperwork.
I mean, yeah, that's basically two paperwork deals you mentioned there, Kante and Dwight McNeil. I mean, it must be very frustrating for the players. But how does that sort of thing happen, Ben?
Yeah, I think paperwork is the official line, but usually it's code for one or both parties do not want to sign or countersign. So in the case of Dwight McNeil, my understanding was after Jean-Philippe Mateta's move got called off, the expectation from Crystal Palace was if they were to do that deal, it would have to go from a 20 million outright purchase to some kind of loan formula to make it a bit more palatable on the books. And then when they didn't get a breakthrough after putting in a deal sheet at the very last minute, Crystal Palace just pulled out. And with N'Golo Kante, it wasn't so much they ran out of time as after Karim Benzema moved to Al Hilal, Al Ittihad got cold feet about signing off another star because the optics of that are not great. And that's also partially why Kante stayed. So my understanding there is Fenerbahce were just waiting for the counter signatures and eventually the clock beat everybody. But I think that was more intentional from the Saudi club.
Yeah. I mean, you can understand that Dwight McNeil and his partner being upset, but this is kind of the nature of the beast. It's not the first or the last time we're going to see, you have to get all your ducks in a row around deals. And you mentioned Mateta there. That obviously did complicate things last minute. And you can feel sympathy for him on a personal level, but that's the business they're in.
Yeah, and I think with Jean-Philippe Mateta, the medical is the medical, right? So you get an agreement in principle. Palace would have done it. Milan would have done it if the medical was fine. And then Milan did extra, what they billed at the time as precautionary medical tests a day after the formal medical, and decided for the outlay due to a knee issue that showed up, it wasn't worth proceeding with. Now, Palace would argue that that knee problem is not a surprise. It's nothing new. And Mateta actually may have to consider surgery at some point. So Milan knew what they were getting in for, but perhaps after you actually do the medical tests, you decide the outlay is not worth it. So now Mateta is at Palace and suddenly he's got big competition because Jorgen Strand-Larsen has also arrived.
Everybody wants young players, and there doesn't seem to be much of a market for veteran players. Do you think that this, well, it's obviously because of PSR, do you think football is going to have to look at this? Because it does sort of make it quite difficult for older players to move anywhere.
Yeah, I think that this under 25 mantra seems to be the popular thing. And part of that is so you get value for money and you find your footballers earlier. And also, as you say, when PSR has been a big problem, you can amortize a younger player over a longer term contract. Whereas to a 30-year-old, you're not just going to hand them a 5-year contract unless perhaps it's Saudi Arabia. But squad cost ratio is coming in place of PSR. And for clubs with strong revenue, it will give them more rope to work with. Manchester United being one of the big beneficiaries, for example. So you might see a switch back towards more tried and tested and older players. But these multi-club groups, their strategy is really clear, in particular that they want to find the players young before they burst onto the scene. And then if they become superstars, they've got them at excellent value and you've got the longevity. And even a club like Bournemouth are going down that route. Bill Foley is part of a multi-club as well, but Semenya goes 65 million. Ryan comes in, a young replacement, but a big potential. There's 100 million euros release clause there, by the way. So that shows you the kind of billing that Bournemouth are giving the player. But yes, this buy young and buy early and buy from places like South America now seems to be one of the biggest fads or trends that we're seeing in the transfer market.
So Harvey Elliott's situation is an interesting one. I mean, he's probably going to play maybe 2 more matches if he's lucky before the end of the season, because otherwise that would trigger Villa having to sign him permanently, which they don't want to do. I mean, you do wonder when deals like this get structured. I mean, the player is the loser in that. Well, he's earning a fortune, but I'm sure he'd much rather. He's
lost a year of his career.
Yeah,
when he was playing really well.
It's been a fairly disastrous move for him all round. But there's not much they can do because he can't go on loan elsewhere, can he?
Yeah, there are things they can do, though. So you're absolutely right. He can't go on loan elsewhere. There was interest from Charlotte FC, though, to do a loan deal. And that's the one exception, that if it's a season that effectively is starting and not on the same calendar as much of Europe, then it's seen as different because the MLS season is viewed as next season, whereas the European leagues are all in the same season. So Harvey Elliott's turned out for Liverpool and Aston Villa, so he can't move to another European club. But Charlotte FC was one example where he could have gone, and yet Elliott didn't want to go. Now, I think what you might see outside of the window is Liverpool and Aston Villa relaxing the terms, and that is possible even though the window's shut. And in this particular scenario, instead of it being about if Villa play him a few more games, they've got to buy him. If Liverpool know that they're not going to purchase him, maybe to get the player game time, put him in the shop window, make him more marketable during the summer, what they will do is allow for the obligation to buy to be changed and an amendment to come in, perhaps just making it a straight option to buy, or maybe adding more appearances between now and the end of the season before Villa are obligated to buy. So don't be surprised if we see some club-to-club talks to allow Harvey Elliott the opportunity to feature more for Aston Villa without Villa being obligated to buy him. And the reason why, Emery doesn't want the player, nothing personal, he's training hard, but it was a Monchi signing. Monchi left, and then Emi Buendia comes back and does amazing. So naturally, Harvey Elliott falls further down the pecking order.
Now, you follow Saudi football, and we got this situation with Cristiano, and I heard you talking about it yesterday. Just wonder what the latest news is, because, I mean, normally if there was misinformation, Cristiano's people would be very quick to come out and say, that's nonsense, I've got a hamstring strain, it's nothing to do with me being... But there's been radio silence, hasn't there, so far? So we can take it that he is upset, and he's not happy with the buying that the club have done, and he is on strike effectively.
Yeah, so Cristiano Ronaldo very intentionally and not for medical reasons chose not to play in the game against Al Riyadh. Al-Nassr still won it 1-0, and this was effectively a protest that sends a message to both the PIF hierarchy and the wider Saudi Pro League. And it's not quite as simple as Ronaldo didn't like Karim Benzema going to Al Hilal because he wanted him at Al-Nassr, but it's that kind of signing that irked Ronaldo because he feels that Jose Semedo, the director of football, who's a very close friend of Cristiano Ronaldo at Al-Nassr, isn't getting any power or budget. And the irony of this Saudi project is that even though PIF are rich, the 4 PIF clubs are relying on central funding, which is not divided equally. So you can imagine if you're Al Ittihad and they can't get a Benzema extension and they're PIF because the terms are not good enough, so they fall out, and then suddenly Benzema goes to Al Hilal and they find the money to do the deal. It seems like a mismatch, and it's like having 4 kids and giving a massive gift to one kid one year and then the next kid the next year. Eventually, all the siblings are going to fall out. And this is why Ronaldo is upset, not specifically because Benzema has moved, but he's questioning this PIF strategy and the wider league strategy and saying, how is it Al-Nassr haven't had any money to sign anybody? And why is the money distributed in the manner that it is? And the league would argue you have to almost, in an American style system, constantly prop up the rear and give more money and weight of budget to the clubs you feel you need it to have a really competitive league. But from Al-Nassr's point of view, they weren't able to do any business in January. Then Ronaldo watches a good friend of his, Karim Benzema, go to Al Hilal. And of course, he's not happy with that. So he's sending a message to the league. And now we have to see how the league respond, because Ronaldo's got a lot of power in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I was going to ask you that finally, Ben. How does this play out? I mean, he wants his 1,000 goals because, we all know how self-obsessed he is.
Yeah.
So he won't want to set out after the season, then go to the States or whatever, or insist he's sold. So is this just a kind of short protest to sharpen everybody up, and he'll be back and playing soon?
Yeah, I think so. There's no point in just not playing indefinitely in a World Cup year when, as you say, he wants to get to 1,000 goals either this season or more likely next campaign. Plus the fact once the window's shut, there's not much you can do. And then add an intriguing layer to this story. And it's worth pointing out that the budget was all allocated at the beginning of the season. So it's not like you get given a load of January money on top. Maybe Ronaldo feels that Al Hilal found extra money to sign Benzema, but generally it's the seasonal budget given to you in the summer. So when we get to next summer, there'll be a whole new budget, and it might be that Al-Nassr suddenly get a load more money than the other PIF clubs. So what you could find is Ronaldo makes a statement, goes back to playing, gets to the summer, and then suddenly this is all just about getting more money into Al-Nassr so they can get the next set of superstars that arrive in the summer. And I think it's very realistic that will happen. The league will respond. They'll give Al-Nassr more money, and Cristiano Ronaldo will stay in Saudi Arabia.
Good stuff, Ben. Thanks as always.
Cheers, guys.
Ben Jacobs there on the window, and with the latest on Cristiano Ronaldo.
I was watching the sports news this morning, and that goal that they won that game, Sadio Mane scored. I can't remember, somebody, European good player, I can't remember, set it up. Lovely through ball. And you think, God, there's some good players playing out there, but it doesn't penetrate, does it?
No.
It's not on telly, the Saudi. People aren't following it. People aren't interested, basically, in Europe, are they?
It's Paul Hawksbee.
No wickets.
And
it was just a
Andy Jacobs
review
here on talkSPORT. Yeah, we just had another review. England, pretty slow progress. 3 overs, 14 off of 3 overs. Yes, I think we have just had another wicket. Clearly our producer's in front of us on the pictures. He said to me it's been a wicket. I thought, was he gone mad? Anyway, let's get the details. Yeah, England now 2 down against Sri Lanka. Sam Ellard.
A really, really bizarre and slow and pedestrian start from England. 3 overs gone, England winning the toss. Batting first, 14 for 2, 18 balls into the innings. We've only seen one England boundary, and that was an inside edge from Josh Buttler, which went past the keeper for a boundary. I told you about Ben Duckett being trapped LBW for a golden duck by Chimera, and now Jacob Bethel is the second bat to go for just 3 runs. Patirana, who bowled a really good 3rd over. He's got a very, very similar action to Lasith Malinga. Bowled lots of good quick Yorkers. England found him hard to get away. He then bowled a slightly slower ball and wider ball to Jacob Bethel, who tried to chase it and drive it through the offside. He mistimed the shot completely, took the outside edge, and it was caught well by the wicketkeeper Kusal Mendes. So England with lots of work to do here in the power play. 3 overs gone. Butler 10 from 10. Tom Banton has just arrived at the crease, and a slow start for England to a 14 for 2.
Okay, let's hope
a terrible power play, and if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, you usually lose the game.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's one of the
puff of dust from the pitch there, though.
Yeah,
that ball was a bit strange. But
so Banton can do what he did the other day. We'll keep you in touch with that. It's live over on talkSPORT 2 and the Cricket YouTube channel right now. Electric polo with a K. On unicycles, electric unicycles. Obviously, that'd be a bit circusy otherwise. Yeah. We'll tell you more about that for the first time on this show very shortly. We're here with Toolstation. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Toolstation.
Arsenal are currently top. And Tony, it'd be fair to say you haven't always been praising this Arsenal regime under Arteta. Are you now being converted to the fact that they're title-winning material? Well, I love this squad, and I think this one, not necessarily back 3 or 4 years ago, is my point. I think the squad couldn't handle the injuries. We had Saliba about 3 years ago, and it really struggled when he got injured. And like with Saka again, in the previous years, if they had stayed fit, they would have definitely won the league those years. I think I think Arteta's learned from it. And I think the way that he rotates today is incredible. He really does. And we saw yesterday with Saka, I said at the top of the show, he got injured and we was able to get the job done still. So that would never happened a few years ago. So I think they've got the best squad in the league. And if he keeps them happy, he's been totally supported by his owner as well. Josh is, 100 million for Declan. All of a sudden, anyone I want, bang, you're on it. You know what I mean? He's been able to assemble a fantastic squad of players that potentially could go on and win the league for a couple of years now. So when you look at it now, you talk about the strength and depth. Do you think there's anything else they actually need? It may be a bit short time now to do it in this transfer window, but to go on and dominate? I think they're all right for now. Central defender-wise, I like the cad at Palace, the central defender.
Ramon Vega joins us for a bit of a Spurs chat a little bit later on. He wants changes at the very top. He'll tell us more about that. And we'll also be chatting to Frank Smith, popping in to see us from Matchroom. They've got some big fights coming up, some interesting stuff going on. But before that, electric polo with a K. I mean, the kind of point of entry, really, if you want to try your hand at polo, you've got to be able to ride. You either have to own a horse or have access to a horse. It's not easy, is it, if you want to just give it a crack? Well, it has become a bit more user-friendly, thanks to electric polo. Roda polo, R-O-D-A. It's done on electric unicycles and is getting more popular. And we're seeing people even converting from traditional polo to play the game. Here to tell us more about it, somebody who's tried both. Henry Brett joins us. Hi, Henry.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, you've played the traditional game, of course, and you've now tried your hand at electric polo. Do you have a preference?
I mean, I'm obviously, my whole career was based on the horse sport, so that's my passion. But the e-wheel polo has really become popular, and it's obviously, like you said, it's a lot more accessible for the sort of everyday person.
One thing I've never understood about polo is why they don't have a goalkeeper. Because often you just go through and then you just aim at the goal. It goes through the thing, and
the
it's
horse.
a goal.
The horse can't dive, Andy.
Well, I suppose so, but even a goalie that could dive on a horse.
Is that? I mean, if having a ball fired at the horse in a goal,
you couldn't have that.
I mean, this is the problem. This is that. Why have they traditionally not been keepers, Henry?
That's a good question. You're going to have to take that up with the governing body.
The horse in 4 gloves. Yeah, but this is interesting. So it's smaller sided. It's 3 players instead of 4, and I suppose it's you don't need as big a surface area to play it on, and you can play it maybe on a tennis court or a power league.
It's actually designed for a football field.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it does look good. It looks fun.
Yeah, they get up to 30 miles an hour on these wheels, and it's as as close as you could get to playing polo without a horse.
And have you found people just obviously that wouldn't have played the traditional game giving this a go and playing it a lot?
Yeah. We've had kids. They see it. They see the wheel, and they see, they want to get on it. And once they're on it, they kind of enjoy it, and it's opened the game up to these kids that wouldn't get on a horse, they got on a wheel, and they love it.
So if people want to try it, I mean, you look about £500 for one of the e-wheelers. So if you just wanted to try it, are there some available so people could just come along and if they like it, they can make that sort of financial commitment?
Yeah, we are currently working on a model to get it out to schools so that people can, the kids can learn to ride it at their schools. And we've got an academy at the Berkshire Polo Club. So that's at the moment that's probably the best way for anybody to get in touch is through our website, electricpolo.com.
Okay,
like you said, with a K.
Yeah, electric ELEKTR. So you can go and check it out. Obviously Argentina is very keen on polo.
You had an event there, didn't you?
Yeah, they've embraced this as well, haven't they?
This is where it started, exactly. So the game started there about 5 years ago, and I think they're up to about nearly 3,000 players. So it's really taken off.
And from an animal welfare point of view, which is, there's been criticism levelled at polo around that. This obviously isn't a problem, is it? Of course.
No, no. It's put the wheel in your car and take it out, jump on it, and off you go.
Yeah. And are we good? Who's winning the world championship in electric polo at the moment?
Argentina. No. Yeah, they're like they are with the polo. They're doing the same with the wheels at the moment. But I don't think it'll be. In a few years, I think it's going to be a game that will be played by a lot of countries, and because of the wheel, it sort of democratizes the game.
Yeah,
it does.
Excellent. Well, look,
future Olympic sport possibility.
Yeah,
who knows?
I'll watch it. It sounds fun. Good to talk to you, Henry. Thanks very much.
All right, all the best.
Henry Brett, there was a former captain of the England polo team and has taken to electric polo. It's ELECTRIK. That's ELECTRIK.
I found it under Roda Polo.
Roda Polo, that's RODAE. You can find that. And so, if you fancy giving it a crack, why not? That's a new series for Danny Dyer, isn't it? Bringing polo to the working class.
Polo, yeah.
Once he's staying in his caravan playing polo.
Tried to do that, didn't they, at one point?
Or making polo working class.
Yeah. Was it Kenny Jones or one of those people?
Yeah, Kenny Jones, of course, the Who drummer. But he played, didn't he? And he tried to sort of democratise it a little bit. But as you said, you have to own a horse, so not everybody can have one sort of spare, can they, really?
Sam Elliott will be home for tea.
I think the only way... Oh, blimey, what happened to that? The only way to really do it is for the Queen Vic to have a Queen Vic polo tournament. I'm sure Alfie Moon can make that after the many cowboy nights I've had over the years.
Yeah.
Queen Vic polo tournament, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Why not?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past the writers of EastEnders to do that. So, still to come, the official schnitzel supplier to Harry Kane. We'll talk a bit of boxing. We'll keep you in touch with the cricket, which isn't going magnificently well from an England point of view. Sports news coming up with Fletch. I'm sure he'll go back to Sam to bring you details of the third wicket. England currently 30 for 3. It is live, ball by ball, over on talkSPORT 2 and the cricket YouTube channel right now.
got to talk about Romero. He's done an Instagram post, and I'm going to read it out for people out there. And I think it's a bit of a dig at the ball, to be honest. It says, "Great effort from all my teammates yesterday. They were incredible. I wanted to be available to help them, even though I wasn't feeling well, especially since we only had 11 players available. Unbelievable but true and disgraceful. We'll keep showing up, taking responsibility to turn this around, working hard and staying together. All that's left is to thank all of you for being there and always supporting us, the fans."
He's got some front, by the way, Ian. He has got some front, honestly. I cannot believe he's come out and think. I mean, he's got more front than the White Cliffs of Dover, mate.
Yeah.
He has. Yeah. To come out and say that.
I didn't know where you was going with that.
No, but do me a favour. Seriously, mate.
What do you mean?
Sorry, let me just get the league table up. Well, bear with me. Bear with me. Can we got any of that like music that when you're in a lift?
You want lift music?
Because I've got to go fast.
Why have you not got the league table in front of you?
Because I can't see you.
What do you mean?
I can't see where you are.
Look, there you go. Magically appears. There you go. League table. Right. What do you want?
Okay, the joke's gone.
What?
I need a little bit. Can you get me lift music?
We don't want lift music.
I want lift music.
What for? What are you doing?
I can see Arsenal.
Yeah. Okay. It's boring. It's boring chat. Okay, boring. Tottenham are 14th.
Here we go. What lift you been in?
I don't know what lift this is.
Okay.
Oh,
sort of lift like the bin. Basically, I'm looking down the table. You're 14th, right? You're 9 points off 18th West Ham, and he's coming out, giving it all that.
What do you mean giving it all that? He's basically saying.
Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT. The cricket is actually getting worse. Here's Ben Fletcher with the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Good afternoon. Yeah, straight to Sri Lanka where England won the toss and are batting first. Things going from bad to worse in front of talkSPORT's Sam Ellard.
An awful start. 1 ball left to the power play. England 35 for 4. Banton was third to go for 7. Welalaga, the bowler. Banton looking to clear his front leg and go over the leg side, but was beaten by a little bit of dip and the ball crashing into the stumps. Then Patirana gets Harry Brook, the England captain, for 4. It was a cutter, a slightly slower ball. Brook was too early on the shot. Picked out the fielder at short cover. Duckett goes for a duck. Bethel 3, Banton 7, Brook 4. Sam Curran has just joined Butler at the crease. 1 ball left to the power play. England 35 for 4.
Ball-by-ball commentary, if you can bear it, continues over on talkSPORT 2. We're told Mateta's failed move to Milan shouldn't affect his performances for Palace, as his eyes are firmly on a World Cup place with France. Charlie Austin went through something similar when he was at Hull, so how might Mateta be feeling?
Football, every club you go to, you have a medical, right? Mm-hmm. So that's me done. I'm just going to fail medical all the time.
Palace stand accused of messing with Dwight McNeil's mental health. His partner, Megan Sharpley's posted on social media to say they had no explanation for Palace's change of heart, which caused tears, emotion and distress. Another deal that's off is N'Golo Kanté to Fenerbahce. Saudi Pro League officials didn't sign off on it following Benzema's departure from Conte's club Al Ittihad to Al Hilal. Tonight's championship meeting between Portsmouth and Ipswich has been called off again, this time because of a waterlogged pitch. And does Donald Trump have Gianni Infantino's ear when it comes to FIFA considering lifting a ban on Russia? Here's our very own Simon Jordan.
Is Trump using political influence, given the fact the World Cup's held in America, to start the dialogue that starts to reintegrate Russia back as part of the arsenal of conversations that he's going to have with Putin to settle this war and ultimately make himself a hero in that particular scenario? Yeah, possibly.
talkSPORT News.
Sir Keir Starmer's now asked officials to look at options to remove Lord Mandelson's peerage, and Elon Musk's AI bot is facing another investigation after allegedly creating sexual deepfakes. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With expert technicians in all our centres across the country, we'll keep your car's inbuilt safety tech in top condition this winter. Book today at quickfit.com.
Rain moving northwards throughout the afternoon. Hill snow and in Wales and in Scotland.
Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to be chatting to Frank Smith from Matchroom, their CEO. We've got some big fights coming up. Plenty to get stuck into with Frank. Ian Williamson, the head teacher at Dame Dorothy Primary School in Sunderland, tells us why a switch to PE kit from traditional uniform for the pupils.
So simple, but
has had not just an effect on how they're doing physically, but in the classroom as well. So we'll be chatting to him. David O'Leary joins us. Look ahead to our commentary game between Arsenal and Chelsea. Unfortunately, Pompey Ipswich is off. We were going to bring you that in the Championship, but Fratton is waterlogged apparently, so that game is not happening tonight. But we will, of course, bring you that Arsenal-Chelsea second leg. How are you feeling about that one tonight? It's going to be got you 3-2 from the first leg.
Yeah, look, it's difficult. We've got a terrible record at the Emirates. They are a brilliant team. They're in front. It's difficult. If they score first, obviously it's going to be probably all over. Chelsea get a goal. Who knows? Could be game on.
Yeah.
You feel that probably to win by win by 2 clear goals would be an achievement. I reckon if they can get it to penalties, they'll have done well.
There's been a bit of tension, understandably, at the Emirates at times. So if you did score early and got on the front foot and played well, but there's a risk that if you get on the front foot, they'll just.
But
pick you off and
teams
score.
and teams, they're so used to beating us.
Yeah.
Although I find Arteta, obviously Paul Scholes' criticism of Arsenal is fueled by the fact that he's a United fan.
And it was massively over the top and not fair.
Yeah,
really.
But for Arteta to say, we are a very entertaining team. I've heard we're the most entertaining team in Europe. One thing Arsenal are is brilliant. They're a great football team.
Yeah.
Very solid, but entertaining. I think the jury's out on entertaining.
He tried entertaining. They didn't win anything.
No.
So
and the way they're going about it is the right way for them. And then maybe they win it and then they can be more expansive next year. Yeah, I get that.
I mean, they've got, if a game of football breaks out, they can go toe to toe, but they choose.
Certainly on Saturday, that was probably one of their best performances.
I don't blame Arteta at all. Anyway, let's bring you a simple.
They're not PSG though, are they?
They're not PSG, but anyway, they still may beat PSG to the Champions League.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. Let's bring you an over of live cricket. It's simulcasted with our good friends over on talkSPORT 2, John Norman and Gareth Batty, who was in with us earlier on. We'll bring you commentary.
Look to hit the sight screen straight back over the bowler's head. And Sam, particularly the left-arm spinner, he'll be looking at mid-on round to mid-wicket if they get full. Aside from that, they'll knock it around and they'll play the game. They'll play relative risk-free.
Tikshan missed the second T20. He was expensive in the first, and his first delivery is pushed to extra cover. Welcome to listeners to talkSPORT. You're listening to live and exclusive cricket commentary from Sri Lanka, where the hosts are enjoying the start to this third T20. England 46 for 4, winning the toss, the third match in a row, and being rocked early doors. This is pushed to backward point, no run. Ben Duckett, Jacob Bethel, Tom Banton and Harry Brook have all been and gone. And Sri Lanka have bowled beautifully. They've mixed up the pace and the spin. And Tikshana just plenty of loop and a bit of drift. Draws Sam Curran forward and pushing up to long off for a single. Harry Brook deciding to bat first today, maybe with the T20 World Cup in mind, just wanting to ask a few new questions of his team, and with the series already won, why not? 2 changes as well, with Ben Duckett coming back into the side after Phil Salt picked up a back spasm in the warm-up. Didn't last too long though. He was dismissed without scoring. That was the first of the 4 wickets to fall in the power play, and there's the 5th. Jos Buttler coming forward, trying to play defensively, and Tikshana's exploited the gap between bat and pad, and the ballers hit the top of off stump, and Butler's got to go for 25, and that's a huge blow for England's chances at Pallekele. They're 47 for 5 now.
Yeah, Tikshana only 4 balls into his spell, and he's got expansive spin. I mean, that's a good sort of half a foot outside off stump, and it's spun through the gate, through the defences of Jos Buttler, to hit the top of middle stump. It's kind of your dream delivery from an off spinner. But was disappointed with himself. He feels like he could have done more to at least make the umpire make a decision on an LBW as opposed to giving the inside edge and the gap between bat and pad. But he was starting to show nice signs, Josh Butler there, 25 of 21 before that ball, and it was extravagant spin. But he'll be disappointed that he didn't have something behind it. But again, it's another opportunity, what you were saying a moment ago about some of the England players that haven't had much time in the middle recently to get out there and spend some time. Will Jacks comes out to the middle.
Yep, 2 Surrey players at the crease now with the Surrey head coach on commentary duty here on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel, and England needing a couple of players to stick around now for 6 or 7 overs before going again. Plenty of batting still to come, but Sri Lanka wouldn't have dared dream they would have England 5 down inside 8 overs, and it's been good bowling. England haven't thrown their wickets away, but they are now in a little bit of trouble. We get the thoughts of Steve Harmison as the game progresses. Roshan Abeysinghe took Shah at first ball, and Will Jacks just playing deep in his crease and threads this ball through backward point and gets off the mark first ball. Just seeing a replay of that. I called it as top of off. It was actually top of middle. Big turn there for Tikshana, and he's not known as a huge turner of the ball. I'm sure you remember Janta Mendes bats from back in the day. He's got a bowling action and delivery style similar to Mendes, and actually played a big part in his as a coach, as this time at Curran again, staying deep in his crease, opening up his body and just cutting this backward of point for a single. Score moves along, 49 for 5.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Gareth. That's over on talkSPORT 2 in the cricket.
I
YouTube
can't
channel.
wait to turn over and watch England lose pathetically. It's marvellous.
You think the pitch is playing a bit weird? You thought the Brook dismissal was...
Yeah, maybe. It's difficult to tell when you're watching.
Because he just sort of dollied one up, didn't he?
And the ball did turn a lot, that one on Butler.
Yeah.
But, well, never mind. Series is won.
It is one. That is very, very true. So, as we said, over on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel, currently, and on talkSPORT 2, and we'll keep you in touch with that with Sam Millard watching. The official schnitzel supplier to Harry Kane. Every time Harry Kane scores a goal, our guest Stefan Katzner goes round in his car to his house and delivers a boxed schnitzel dinner.
Is it just one? We'll find out.
I think it is, per goal.
Right. So what about Harry's family? He's got quite a big family there.
They must share it. I think it's more symbolic than anything else. Harry is... I think
these are what we want to know.
These are all the questions we'll be running past him. We're going to talk boxing. Angry Ginge joins us later on. King of the Jungle, Manchester United fan, and possible professional darts player somewhere along the line. He's going to tell us more about going to Q School and all that and a lot more besides. We're here, as always, with our very good friends at Toolstation. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Toolstation.
Brentford Football Club have called out Gabby Agbonlahor this morning.
Oh, don't get me started, Ali. Honestly, Ali, I've never heard Villa Park so angry. Listen, was the ball 100% out? No one will ever know.
know. No one will ever know. No one will ever know.
For those of you not watching at this moment in time, I can just exclusively reveal that the ball did look out.
Okay, Ali, you know what? I'm going to give you some info about Brentford, all right?
Now, wait a minute, before we get into are you accepting now that the ball might have been out?
I can't really tell. It's camouflage with the pitch.
It's looking out to me, that's all I'm saying.
I'm colourblind, I can't see, Ali. So, Brentford's G-Tech Stadium only holds 17,250 fans.
Oh, my goodness.
Teams with a bigger capacity. MK Dons, 30,500 in League 2. Notts County, 19,500 in League 2. Bolton Wanderers, 28,700 in League 1. Bradford City, 25,000 League 1. Huddersfield, 24,500 League 1. Port Vale, 19,000 League 1. Plymouth Argyle, 17,440 League 1. Bristol Rugby Stadium, 27,000. Leicester Tigers Rugby Ground, 25,000. Brentford social media Twitter followers, 398,000.
That's good.
Benty has more than 80,000 more at 480,000. Adrian Durham has only 5,000 less, 393,000 on Twitter. Aston Villa have 3 million more followers on Instagram than Brentford. They sell their best players, Ivan Toney, Mbumo, Wissa,
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. I mentioned earlier on that Pompey versus Ipswich Town, our planned commentary game for you this evening, unfortunately being postponed because of waterlogged pitch at Fratton Park. We can bring you Hull City versus Watford, though, we're delighted to say. So you'll get live football 7:30 this evening.
Managerless Watford.
Managerless Watford, yeah. Not. I mean, we've said that a lot over the years, haven't we? But, yeah, so we'll bring you that game live over on talkSPORT too. Meanwhile, on talkSPORT, Arsenal versus Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg. Now, I take it that Harry Kane, Andy, in his contract has some kind of goal bonus, a financial incentive to score lots of goals, which he certainly has since he went to Bayern. But this is a little added bonus for him. A local restaurateur and Bayern Munich fan sends a schnitzel dinner round to Harry's house, which isn't very far from his restaurant, every time Harry scores a goal. And let's be honest, he scores a lot of goals.
He does.
Stefan Katzner is the restaurateur. He joins us now. Good afternoon, Stefan.
Hello.
Hello. So, do you have any regrets considering now Harry's scoring like 60 goals?
No, not at all. Could have been more.
Yeah. Are you saying he's not scoring enough goals, Stefan?
No, he's doing very good at our club here at Bayern Munich. We are very happy to have him here.
Stefan, how did this all start?
Oh, it was, we have a nice little restaurant, beer garden, hotel south of Munich, pretty close to downtown, like 15 kilometers. And when he moved here, we had always family, friends here in the hotel, the moving people, and his doctor.
Oh, okay.
And with the doctor, he's always around when he treats Harry, and we eat together. We talk about sports. We talk about Bayern Munich and Harry Kane, of course.
So has Harry been to your restaurant for a schnitzel? Is that why you know that he enjoys them?
No, he was never here, even though he lives very close to the hotel. But I met him in his house delivering not schnitzel, but duck and goose.
Mm-hmm.
And was a very pleasant. Was very pleasant to meet him. Very nice guy. Very how do you say in English? Grounded, down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh yeah.
That's a really nice opportunity. We talked, and then the idea with the schnitzel came up, having dinner with his doctor in our restaurant.
Now, I've got a question for you. If Harry scores the winner in the World Cup final against Germany, will you still give him a schnitzel?
Yeah, that's right. Will you stop the schnitzels at that point, Stefan?
Yeah. Are you sure you make it to the final?
No, not really, Stefan. It was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't be sure either. So it's, the past World Championships, we didn't do too good. I think we have a pretty good team, and I hope we will play England in the final. And then, usually he doesn't get schnitzel when he scores for the English team.
No.
But, it all depends, But I think I cannot reward him for scoring against the German team. I'm sorry about this.
Well, even if we win the World Cup, it's still a German triumph for Thomas Tuchel.
I suppose they would. Yeah, Thomas Tuchel is there. So
I think it's too early to talk about this.
Yeah, it is. I think. But
first of all, we want to win the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
And we are second in the group phase.
Yeah.
But if you know better than I do, amongst the first 8 teams, I think there must have been at least 6 English teams.
Yeah.
Or 5.
5.
Imagine a Tottenham Bayern Munich champions. I mean, I can imagine it with a slight laugh. But Harry Kane playing against Spurs in the Champions League final. He's spoken about your schnitzel deliveries, hasn't he? He said he was obviously you didn't really think he was going to score that many goals, but does he enjoy them as far as you?
Because of the schnitzel, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. It could be schnitzel led this incredible
Very
run.
much so.
So
we've seen you delivering. Is it just one meal per the family, or is it? How does it work?
No, it works like this. In the beginning, I was because I take the car. It's like a 1-minute ride. I ring the bell, and then some doorman or security guy opens the door. We talk. We talk about the game and so on. But in the beginning, it was for one schnitzel, and it was too much of a riding. So I decided to have 2 goals together, and then I take the car and bring 2 schnitzels. One is always with potato salad, and one is with roasted potatoes.
Do we know what?
No ketchup, no French fries.
No, they wouldn't go down well.
That wouldn't work.
It doesn't even go with it, really.
No. And do we know what he prefers? Is he more? Does he like the potato salad or the potatoes? Do we know?
I have no feedback so far, but I can ask his doctor, and I will get the answer. And you can call me again.
We will. We'll get all the info. Well, look, keep supplying the schnitzels. From an England point of view, we need Harry scoring going into the World Cup. So
yeah.
Good.
As long as we don't play against each other, he can score as many goals as he wants to.
Thank you, Stefan. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Stefan.
Okay, nice talking to you.
There we are.
Have a nice day.
And
Bye-bye.
you take care. That's Stefan Katzner there, who is from the Buckenheim Forest Inn and a supplier of schnitzel. It's quite a deep dive into the world of schnitzels.
Well,
wasn't it, really?
I like a schnitzel. And if you were watching on YouTube or
It looked lovely there, didn't it?
Yeah,
Lovely
very nice,
cold day in Munich with the old blue sky. Lovely, very nice there. We're going to talk boxing next. Frank Smith, unfortunately, not making it into us. Our own Spencer Oliver's going to join us, look at some of the big boxing stories of the day. And as we said, we'll be chatting to the headmaster of a school up in Sunderland that has ditched traditional school uniform for sports gear. And not only are the kids getting out more and playing, they're actually doing better in the classroom. So, we'll be doing that a little bit later on this hour.
I'm up here to try and win a couple of football matches, you know. And if there's a bit of what shall I say, shenanigans going on in the background, I can't do anything about that at this minute. But seriously, when I get an opportunity, I shall try and join the Peace Corps sometime and try and work it out from there.
No, but they are far apart, Martin. And we see it. We see the protests all the time.
Yeah, well, it's not close. It's not close. Yeah. So what would you want me to do, Joe?
He wants you to be a sort of UN delegate. Listen, if you bridge this gap, are you going to build a sense? If you bridge this gap and you chase hearts down,
there you go.
Are you going to build a sense of entitlement in yourself about this job past the end of this season? Are you going to have a little bit about you and push yourself forward and say, "Excuse me, I think this is an opportunity I should be getting"?
Yeah. Right. That's well and truly in the future. I wouldn't know. The chances are that I would not.
Well, you know yourself, don't you? If you chase hearts down and win this league, would you want this job if it was there to be gotten?
Yeah. Would I want the job? Do you want an answer now?
Yeah,
probably
I do.
Not.
Yeah, I do. Because I know you would.
Right. Yeah, probably not.
You don't want it.
Are you serious, Martin? But probably not.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want it full time.
Yeah, but listen, lads, you two are young men. There's a difference. You know, you're young men, you're vibrant.
He's not young.
No, he is. But listen, everyone's young comparison to me. So, and I do not. Listen, lads, that's seriously. It's the first time, I think I spoke to my wife there recently. She said, the first time you've worked in your life. And it was it's extraordinary.
But Martin, come on, you'll be 74 in March. I know that. But you're a young 74 and you love what you're doing at the moment.
Do you think so?
We're told Jean-Philippe Mateta's failed move to Milan shouldn't affect his performances for Palace, as his eyes are firmly on a World Cup place with France. Charlie Austin went through something similar at Hull and told us how Mateta might be feeling.
When he comes back, he'll want to come back and hopefully just start playing, performing, because like I said, just because he stayed at Palace, he's still eyes are on that World Cup squad.
Another deal that's off, and N'Golo Kante is not going to Fenerbahce. Saudi Pro League officials didn't sign off it following Benzema's departure from Kante's club Al Ittihad to Al Hilal. Now, here's what Gabi Agbonlahor thinks the Spurs hierarchy should be saying to Christian Romero.
Leave transfers, leave what's happening with players coming into us. And like you says, why are you kicking up a fuss a couple of hours before the window closes? Why not 2 weeks ago?
Romero's called Spurs' lack of available players a disgrace on social media. Tonight's championship match between Portsmouth and Ipswich has been called off again, this time due to a waterlogged pitch. And without wishing to get lost down conspiracy cul-de-sac, Simon Jordan's wondering if Donald Trump has Infantino's ear over lifting a ban on Russia.
Is Trump using political influence, given the fact the World Cup's held in America, to start the dialogue that starts to reintegrate Russia back as part of the arsenal of conversations that he's going to have with Putin to settle this war and ultimately make himself a hero in that particular scenario? Yeah, possibly.
Gianni Infantino said the football ban on Russia hasn't worked as their invasion of Ukraine continues. Ukraine's foreign ministers called FIFA's president a moral degenerate. More on that at talksport.com.
Just before we talk boxing with our own Spencer Oliver, we're going to head over to Sam Ellard watching Sri Lanka.
I'm telling you, if this
England.
was a county game, this pitch would be reported. It's not fit for purpose. I mean, that last dismissal was mad, but there we go.
Yeah, I mean, Andy's been bemoaning the pitch really from the start. I mean, that's not all the reasons why England are where they are, Sam, but what have you made of it?
Yeah, it's a little bit too paced. I mean, there's certainly some spin in it for the bowlers. I mean, England, something they haven't done here is they haven't picked the slower ball at all. I take Andy's point. That was almost a slower ball, the sixth wicket to fall England, 65 for 6 after 11. A slower ball from Chimera into the pitch, which still, though, when it bounced, did kick up quite a bit. And, you know, Will Jackson went a little bit too early on the shot, and then the extra bounce almost caught him a little bit by surprise. He tried to work the ball into the leg side, only to spoon the ball almost straight up, and Chimera has a second. So, yeah, it's probably not the best of pitches, certainly for batting, very two-paced, some spin in it for the spinners. But Sri Lanka are certainly the quick bowlers, using the slower ball and using it really, really well. That's Bethel, Brook and Will Jackson have all fallen to the slower ball. So England into the 12th over now, 66 for 6, remarkably. Only 2 England batters have got into double figures. One of those is Sam Curran. He's still at the crease, unbeaten on 20. He's got lots of work to do. At the other end, Liam Dawson, unbeaten on 2. Into the 12th, England 66 for 6.
Thank you very much, Sam. Back to Sam a little bit later on. Spencer Oliver has popped in to see us. We'll talk boxing this evening. Good afternoon, Spencer.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, thank you. We had a big night of boxing in Newcastle at the weekend. Some interesting stuff emerged from that. Josh Kelly won his IBF Super Welterweight title and was immediately contacted by Sunderland saying, let's have the next fight at the stadium. And he sounded very excited. So what sort of doors does that open to Josh?
Well, it opens huge doors for Josh. You know, I think it was a brilliant win. He was fighting Murtazaliev was a fighter that no one in the division wanted to box. He was coming off a great win over Tim Zhu, who's a recognised fighter, a former world champion himself, knocked him out in 3 rounds, and people go, whoa, I don't know where I want to get into the ring with this guy. And Josh Kelly stepped up to the plate. He went in as a big underdog, and he delivered tactically. You know, he got it right. Adam Booth, his trainer, got it right, and they pulled off a memorable victory. Opens up all sorts of doors now. He's now the IBF Super Welterweight World Champion. You know, there's the likes of Conor Benn that's flying around. He's offered out anybody and everybody for anywhere from middleweight down. So that's a possibility. That's a big fight. You know, Conor Benn's making waves himself. He wants a world title fight. He says that's down at 147. I still have my doubts whether he can make 147 or carry that strength down at 147. If he can't, a big fight with Josh Kelly, Sunderland Stadium, you know,
Stadium of Light, it'd be brilliant.
For the light middleweight world title, why not? You know, I think it's a great fight.
Josh Padley, we spoke to last week. We've been following his career, the former electrician who stepped up with 4 days' notice to fight Shakur Stevenson and did pretty well, went 9 rounds with him. Won his own European title of the weekend. I watched the fight. It was a cracking knockout very early on. And again, doors have opened up for him. I understand he's getting a new deal with Matchroom, an improved deal, and he's got options as well, isn't he?
Absolutely. What a story, a fairy tale story. And that's what boxing does for, these fighters. One day, he's working on a building site as an electrician. He gets a phone call, last-minute phone call, by the way, to box Shakur Stevenson. If anyone watched his performance against Teofimo Lopez at the weekend, you recognise this kid is not just the best in the division, but actually one of the best in the world. 4-weight division world champion, and he stepped up to the plate and he delivered and he put on a good performance. Yes, he got beat, and I think he ended up getting stopped in that one, but he come out with a lot of credibility, and he's gone and won a European title now, and he set himself up for another world title shot sometime in the near future. Great deal with Matchroom Sport. Yeah, brilliant story. This one really is.
He'll be eyeing the Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington 2 fight, which is coming up in a couple of weekends' time. And Matchroom put out a very good promo video involving Josh and Lee in full prosthetic makeup. The year is 2075, they say, and the two of them haven't got it on yet for the second fight, but they're still phoning each other up, abusing each other. Yeah. It's very interesting, though, because they're looking like old men, but Eddie Hearn appears in it. But he appears as a hologram, obviously far too vain to be made up to what he's going to look like in 2075. He just looked like his old man. He'll still be alive then anyway, won't he?
That makes sense, knowing Eddie. But look, it's a great fight. It's a fight that we thought may have gone away from us now. They last fought back in 2023. Memorable fight. Josh Warrington was on top in that fight, but Lee Wood showed that he's got that equaliser at any given point and landed the big shot to knock Josh Warrington out. Warrington's always been chasing that rematch, and he's finally got it. What a great fight that is. Yeah, looking forward to this one.
The other one was we've got Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder, and we've seen them over in the States, and they're coming over and they're going to be doing some stuff in London. I think they're going to be doing a talk boxing special, aren't they, with you guys?
They are. They're in tomorrow, and that will come out tomorrow night, and that's going to be fun. Yeah, anybody
Derek's
knows
always
that.
good value, isn't he?
Andy, isn't he just? And I think that Deontay Wilder is equally, good value as well. Both great guys, and there's going to be no love lost between these two. Although weirdly, in the build-up to this one, they've got this mutual respect for each other. They're both going into their 50th fights here, so there's a 100th fight on the line here. Derek Chisora says this is 50 and out. But let me put this to you. And I said this to Derek. I said, I think that when you lost to Josie Parker a few years ago, I wanted to see you turn it in then. I've got a good history with Derek. Go back to when my dad and my uncle used to train him as an amateur. So we have a great relationship together. I was being honest with him then. And in this late stage of his career, he's gone on and he's on 3 wins, in a row. And he's had some good wins with the likes of Joe Joyce, where he's been in as underdog. And he's got himself into this position as world number 1. And you look at it and you go, you got to respect it. Now he's fighting Deontay Wilder, a fight that if you talked about this 3 years ago, you would have thought they were mad sticking Derek in. He now starts favourite. But what if Derek Chisora beats Deontay Wilder, on April the 4th at the O2 Arena? If he comes through that fight, he said his wife has said to him, listen, this is one and done. You're out otherwise you're out the door. He's going to have to have this uncomfortable conversation with his wife saying, look, you got to let me have one more fight because there's going to be a big fight with Alexander Usyk off the back of this one, because if Derek wins against Deontay Wilder, he puts himself in prime position. It's a great opportunity for both guys. So although Chisora says it's 50 and done, if he wins, I'm not so sure.
Johnny Nelson was in last week and he wasn't having Derek being done after 50 fights.
I think he's done if he gets done.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's for sure.
Yeah. You think so?
Absolutely.
Do you think he wouldn't want to go out on a defeat, or do you think he'll just take it,
Well, I think that he's boxed everyone of this modern era then, and I go, you just got to accept it for what it is, So, at what point?
He's got to look after himself as well.
Andy, that's the point. I was going to say, at what cost? The price. All us fighters pay a price for getting in the ring every single time. And when you've been a pro, since 2007, like Derek Chisora, and you're having your 50th fight, and you look at his resume and who he's boxed, and the wars that this guy has had. He's earned that name, War Chisora, by the way. The wars that this guy has had, you look at that and you go, at some point we've got to call it a day, and that point has to be very, very soon. Deontay Wilder is a formidable puncher, one of the biggest heavyweight punchers of all time. You don't lose that power. This is going to be another war on April the 4th.
His star has waned, though, isn't it, really? He's not the fight, as you said a few years ago. No. And the final fight against Tyson Fury, where he kind of took him apart. And Wilder hasn't looked the same fighter, but he's always got that punch, like you say, isn't he?
Listen, I think that every fighter is only as good as his last performance, and Deontay Wilder has looked to finish fourth for his last couple of fights. But, speaking to him out in Dubai in December, and really interesting conversation with him, actually, an interview with him, where he was talking about betrayal and, when things went wrong, his wife had left him, and the people that were close in that circuit, he's now changed trainers. And he said all of that going into these fights, like the fight that he lost against Zhale Zhang last time out, he said, I think I'm training, I think I'm doing things right. And when that first bell rings and the reality kicks in, you realise you have left stones unturned and there is other things on your mind, and you can't have that going into these sort of fights. So he said, I'm not going to say that, I'm going to let people say what they think and I'm finished and I'm washed up. It's down to me to prove to them, and you're going to see that on April the 4th. So those unknowns, he talks the talk, that's for sure. He's one of those guys that he sort of half convinced me. Perhaps there's something to this.
Yeah.
And perhaps the old Deontay Wilder will re-emerge. And if he does, we know Ward Chisora is going to bring the fight as well, the heat. I think the unknowns going into this one makes it a really intriguing contest.
Entertaining. What do you think of my new Jarrell Miller hairpiece?
Oh,
yeah,
love
it's
it, mate.
good, isn't it?
Do you know what? Actually, it's fantastic. What was that all about, eh?
It's actually, when you first see it, and you don't realise it's a wig, it's quite shocking. It looks like, when people have like brain operations, they take the top of their scalp.
Yeah.
I thought, blimey, that was a hell of a shot. But it did look weird with his old syrup flapping about, didn't it?
Well, listen, we didn't know he had a syrup, if I'm totally honest. That was the point. He said he made up some cock and ball story about it being dyed and it done something to his hair, so he shaved it off and he stuck this. But wasn't it good though? Like not only the way that he put the piece on, but it was the way he blended it all in. Yeah. So obviously when the hairpiece had been knocked off his head, and we watched it in slow-mo and it went viral, it's hilarious. You saw it flapping around, but then the little bit of hair that they had pretended to put on around the edges was still there. It was something quite comical. I've never seen anything like that in all my days in boxing.
Next time he fights anybody, going to say, knock your wig off. He's getting that all the time. He seemed to laugh it off, though. He wasn't that,
He did. I saw a FaceTime that Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora actually done to him. I watched it on YouTube yesterday, and they were doing a FaceTime, and Deontay's like, your roof has come off. And they said they're going to get him a contract, and this new contract with glue and, all that sort of stuff. You go, but he took it in good faith. He took it in good sport. Yeah, it was that was very funny. He's a good guy, Jarrell Miller, or a funny guy for sure, but that was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen inside a boxing ring.
Yeah, it was weird.
You had Frank Smith from Matchroom In, and it's going to be going out tonight, isn't it, at 8 o'clock?
Yes.
The Talk Boxing with you and Paul Smith and Simon.
Yeah.
I'm sure he talks about Anthony Joshua, and we've seen him back in the ring. We saw that very emotional video last week.
Yeah.
And you kind of do sense he'll fight on in his friend's memory. But, what's the latest? What's Frank been telling you?
Well, I think you've pretty much said it there. If I'm honest, Paul, that's what it is, that Anthony Joshua has decided to continue fighting in the memory of, his brothers Cena and Lats, people that have been with him for a long, long time before his career and been a part of his career, and they were more than just, work associates. They were close friends. He'd lived with these guys as well. It was a very emotional video that he'd put out, but he said he wants to do it for them, for the families. If that's not motivation enough, then, I don't know what is. So, it's going to be interesting to see when Anthony Joshua comes back. They didn't give us any time scale on that. And Frank Smith said he didn't know that either. It's all about Anthony Joshua and just, he has to get himself in the right mental state of mind and, the physical state as well. It's going to be an interesting time, but he will be back 2026, and we may finally get that fight with Tyson Fury. We know he's boxing Makhmudov, Arslanbek Makhmudov. He's fighting Makhmudov on April the 11th. That goes live on Netflix. So there's lots going on in the boxing world right now, and we may finally get that fight, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, sometime in the near future.
Yeah, it'll be
excellent
for him.
Nice one, Spencer. Thanks ever so much.
Cheers, guys.
That latest edition of Talk Boxing with Spencer, with Simon, with Paul Smith, and with Frank Smith. Available tonight from 8 p.m. on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. A little bit of football news just in. Mikel Arteta did say that although Bukayo Saka didn't have a bad injury, he was maybe touch and go for tonight. Well, they've decided not to risk him.
They've got Madueke,
who played very well the other day.
In form, yeah.
Stepped up. So, so no Bukayo Saka in that game tonight. It is live on talkSPORT. We'll build up from 7. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Get winter ready with heating and insulation essentials. Next stop, Tool Station.
I've just had a conversation with Cundy, which I find completely remarkable, and I'd like you to tell the nation because I want to know how other people have witnessed this.
So, I don't do it anymore because the barbers I go to now have this little white thing they put around my neck and they tuck it around the shawl that you wear when you sit down.
Yes. I know what you mean.
But I used to, and this is going on for like 10, 15 years, I'd go into the barbers I'd go into and I would take my T-shirt off and he would cut my hair with the bare...
So you'd sit in a barber shop with your shirt off?
My shirt off, but
so just your chest out?
No, because no. Because what I don't want is I don't want the hair touching my T-shirt that comes off, right? So hair on the T-shirt, forget that, or shirt, whatever you wear. So now I don't need to do it because the guy puts this thing round and then he tucks it around the shawl.
Yeah, I know what that is, mate.
Right.
Everyone goes to a barber shop.
Right, I know, but the barber shop before didn't do that. And I used to think, so I take my T-shirt off, sit in the barber's chair, and then he would put round the shawl that everyone's got and tuck it round my back. I can't have hair on my T-shirt. So it's an absolute no-no.
So you sat in a barber shop with your top off and a shawl over you?
Yes.
Well, you're such a weird guy.
I don't think that's weird.
It's so weird.
I don't think it is.
Do you mean you just sat there in a barber shop? No one does that.
I do. I guarantee there are people listening there going, I know what Cundy's on about there.
I've been in a barber shop for 25 years.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone with their top off having their haircut.
Well, you didn't go to the barber shop. I did. You walked in with me. You'd have seen it.
There is something wrong with you, honestly.
It's true. I guarantee the people going, I know what Cundy's on about. Don't like that hair on the... Once hair gets on the T-shirt, there's no...
No, I get the hair on the T-shirt.
It's irreversible.
No, I get that.
Right, okay.
Just go home and change your T-shirt.
Well, what if you're not going home? All day you're going, got that itch, got the itch, got the hair, I can feel it. Oh. And then it gets in your head. And then you feel, is that hair? Oh, and they're itching. No, that's terrible stuff, that. Terrible.
To South Africa with the Barmy Army on talkSPORT.
Yes, England are back in South Africa next winter and Barmy Army are heading out in full force. This could be your chance to be there with them a week for two. The 2027 New Year's Test in Cape Town. Watch every day of the match at one of the world's great cricket venues. Newlands, flights, hotel and spending money are all covered. You'll get two places with the official Barmy Army tour, putting you right in the heart of the atmosphere with the loudest, proudest fans in cricket. Here's how to enter.
So I pay not to sit with them, but never mind. For your chance to win,
curmudgeon.
I know. Text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate. Or call 0343 418 7260. Lines closed 6th of February 2026, 4 p.m. Imagine if you're sitting next to that bloke with a trumpet.
Okay.
That's when you'll need to answer the phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talkSPORT.com. So for your chance to win, great prize, text WIN to 83338 right now.
Yeah, way to sell a competition, Andy. So let's check in once again with...
It's still a great prize.
Yeah, you don't want to win it. Well, it's just as well you can't.
Exactly.
Anyways, checking once again with Sam Ellard, watching Sri Lanka versus England. We're 15 overs in. Well, I think we could have probably done with a few more runs on the ball and left wicket.
Yes, we're going to need a big final five here to get up to a decent target. 15.1 overs, gone 93 for 6. England was 60 for 6. So I guess the glass half full we're looking at this is this 7th wicket partnership is worth 32 runs from 27 balls. I think Sam Curran and Liam Dawson here just trying to bat right to the end and then hope that Sam Curran still winning can maybe go big off the final over or two. Sam Curran always says he wants to bat higher up the order, spending a lot of time in the middle this afternoon. 37 from 36. Liam Dawson, who can bat, face 12 balls. He's going a run of ball. England's top order were really, really poor early on. All granted, difficult conditions, lots of spin, a bit of a two-pace wicket, but also Sri Lanka, to their credit, in particular their fast bowlers, bowled very, very well in particular, varying up their pace. But England trying to rebuild it and trying to get themselves up to some sort of decent total. The lowest target defended at this ground was 125 runs. Well, England, if these two can bat through to the end, should get above that. Curran's got 37, Dawson's got 12. We're halfway through the 16th over. England are 93 for 6.
Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah, let's see how they do when they bat on it. It'd be interesting.
Oh, yeah, but it's easier when you're chasing a low score.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be no scoreboard pressure, will there? So, this is an interesting story. Via the Youth Sport Trust, a number of schools around the country have done away with traditional uniforms, primary schools, in favour of what they're calling always active uniforms, but effectively sports gear. The kids are wearing sports gear. And we've seen the kids going out and playing a bit more in the playground than maybe they did before. So it's working there. But there's been an improvement in the classroom as well. So it would suggest that it's worked quite well. Joining us now from Dame Dorothy Primary School up in Sunderland is Ian Williamson, the head teacher. Hi, Ian.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. The most interesting thing is it's not just meant the kids have got more active. You've noticed a correlation between their performance in the classroom as well. Why do you think that is?
I think the children are more comfortable in what they wear, and also because it isn't just the uniform on its own. We have a culture where we want the children to be active during the day, so we have an active breakfast club, and we have the children running during curriculum hours every day of the week. And I think because they're able to be active, move about, it improves their concentration, and it's proven that the more active children are at an early age, the more likely they are to be better learners. So it's a win-win situation.
It is still a uniform. I'm looking at a picture that was in the Times of some of your pupils, and it is still very much. They look like they go to your school. They're Dame Dorothy pupils, but it's just the nature of what they're wearing.
Yeah, it's very much a uniform. It still has our school identity on it. We all look very smart, and it just gets us away from the more formal blazers, ties and shirts and heavy shoes. Because if you're asking children to be active throughout the day when they're wearing clothing that's ill-equipped to be active, you're not going to get active children. So we were asking children originally to run around the school field, do all these things, but we weren't equipping them to do it well. What we've done now, we've stripped the children away from that restricted type of uniform, and we've given them the kits to feel free, to feel active, and it's worked really well.
I presume the kids love it as well, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the children would never go back to a formal uniform after this. I mean, one of the interesting things we've noticed is our girls, because when we were dressing the girls in their skirts, and we have all sorts of apparatus in the yard for them to use, they were reluctant to do so. You can see the photograph there when they're upside down. If you're a young girl and you've got your skirt over your head, it's not very dignified. And now when they're wearing leggings, they feel they can access that equipment much easier and without the fear of being looked at by other children or passers-by as well.
When this was first sort of mooted as an idea, Ian, what was the sort of reaction from the parents generally? Was there some pushback?
None at all. I think it helps because our culture for the last 10 years at this school has been to be active. We're a really sporty school. My background's in sport, and that's what I love. So we've always been sporty. We've always been active. We've always taken part in not just football events, but athletics and all sorts of things. So when we first put out the idea about having an always active uniform, not just for parents, but for staff and for governors and for children, it just seemed the logical next step because we're an active school. So why shouldn't we dress appropriately for it?
Kids often take liberties with the uniform.
Yeah, I was going to say this.
Are they? I mean, are they turning up in a pair of sort of Adidas tracksuit bottoms or whatever, or not? Or you're still you make sure they adhere to it.
Absolutely. We've got our uniform consists of a 3/4 top, t-shirt, and then tracksuits, our leggings, which has our Dame Dorothy badge on. So no, there's no leeway. They wear what we ask them to wear. And the good thing as well is uniform can be so expensive for parents, especially these days. We can bring our uniform in for under £50, which is really reasonable. And it's easy to wash. Yep. It doesn't need ironing. It dries quickly. So again, for parents, it's all beneficial. And no, we've had no issues with children coming in wearing Adidas, Nike, or any other brands that are available on the high street.
Have you had other headmasters, other schools contact you, sort of asking you about it and thinking they might adopt this?
Absolutely. In fact, even just today, we had a school from Manchester who've been in touch, and they're going to go move to active uniform shortly. We had another school from Sunderland visited us 2 weeks ago. They too are moving, and it is now. It's something that's gaining momentum nationally. I've been asked to go down to Westminster to speak with MPs back in the summer. I spoke to them about the benefits of an active uniform. I was at the Labour Party conference in September. And again, I was speaking on the platform there about the benefits of active uniform. So I think there's probably something approaching 1,000, 2,000 schools now nationally who have adopted what we are wearing. And I see this growing and growing in the next 5 years.
Has there been any, not just necessarily from your parents, but has there been negative feedback? Is there another side of the argument that's been put to you?
In all honesty, I can't see it, no. I think before we introduced it, people said, I think people equate standards of behaviour with what you wear, and that by somehow you're wearing an active uniform, the children won't behave in a certain way. Well, that's a nonsense. The children have behaved well before we had active uniform, and I would suggest they behave even better now. They love it. So I can't see any negatives to it as well. And I suppose the argument as well is, well, we're getting the children to dress for the workplace, but how many workplaces now have a shirt tie type of suit thing? It's been not so relevant, especially with people working from home now.
And Sunderland going well, helping the mood up there as well.
Yeah, well, I'm black and white, so I'm not mentioning that.
Enemy territory, you are.
Yeah. It's no, I'm very happy for the children who are big Sunderland supporters, but it's rather difficult being a black and white in the city of Sunderland just at this moment in time.
Yeah, do you get a bit of that then, do you? And did you see the game last night, sir? Did you get some of that?
Get a little bit of it. Just say, I was watching EastEnders or something like that.
Well, look, it's fascinating, and let's hope it is rolled out. It sounds like a good idea. So good to talk to you, Ian. Thanks very much.
Well done.
Thanks, gents. Thank you.
Ian Williamson there, the head teacher at Dame Dorothy Primary School in Sunderland. Your thoughts on that? I mean, there will be some schools that traditionally won't like to do it, but if it's working in the classroom as well as keeping the kids fitter, it's great.
I'm sure they'll be doing it at Eton.
No, they probably won't. I mean, you can still run around in that gear with a top hat on. And Rupert Bell, they never would have done it at Rupert's school, would they? Yeah.
Definitely not.
Him and Bunter, they never would have done that. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. 03717 223344. If you want to get in touch, give us your thoughts on that and more. This came from Rowan. He enjoyed the chat with the official schnitzel supplier, so Harry Kane. He said, Stephanie's 100% my new favourite German.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, he's actually my first favourite German, but he did sound like a good guy.
He did.
Thank you. He did. He was a lovely fella, wasn't he? And if he fires Harry Kane to a World Cup victory with his schnitzels, then we should get right behind him. Still to come this afternoon. Angry Ginger's joining us, King of the Jungle. We'll talk about Manchester United, his love of darts, his friendship with Luke Littler, and he's considering going to tour school for the darts. Anyway, we'll have a chat with him later on. David O'Leary joins us ahead of Arsenal versus Chelsea tonight. Just a reminder that Bukayo Saka won't be playing. They're not going to risk him, which is understandable for tonight's game, which is live on talkSPORT.
Back in 2024, when asked if Tottenham had fallen behind their top 6 rivals, Romero told Telemundo Deportes, maybe he thought that we wouldn't get to hear it, but we did hear it. He says, the truth is, Manchester City competes every year. You see how Liverpool strengthens its squad, Chelsea strengthened their squad. And then I think he puts himself in the situation in Tottenham. Those are the things to imitate. You have to realise that something's going wrong. Hopefully they realise it. Well, he's talking about the hierarchy, isn't he, Simon?
Well, he's comparing Tottenham to legacy football clubs and football clubs that are owned by nation states. So there's no real comparison there. But he's wanting to make a point. There's nothing wrong with what he said there. It's whether he should say these sort of things. He said it more recently when he bottled the perspective of flapping his gums about people telling lies and then withdrew that particular statement. Say something, stick with it. It makes life difficult for Thomas Frank because people above him are going to say, do you have control over your players?
Yeah.
Not so much what the players think of the manager, but the manager, what the people above Thomas Frank think of his control over the players.
Yeah.
And
do you think he does?
Well, I think this guy's uncontrollable. I think he does what he wants. I think he thinks he's bigger than Tottenham Hotspur. I think he's bigger than his football club. And we've seen it previously a couple of times in the past where he's a very good player, don't get me wrong. I like him as a footballer. I don't think he's set the world on fire. He's made a few headlines recently because he scored a few goals and he looks like Captain Invincible. When it comes to his defensive prowess, I think he's left a lot to be desired at times.
I agree.
But I also look at it and say that, this is the culture that's being allowed to be seeded in this club. With respect to this player, and it's easy to be said, if I was senior manager at this club, he would have got one opportunity to say this. He said it 2-3 weeks ago, where he talked about people telling lies and only coming up when it suits them. That would have been his starter for 10. He would have been told in no uncertain terms by me or my chief executive, you're going to find yourself in a serious situation if you keep on flapping your mouth and talking out of turn.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Things go from bad to worse for England in Sri Lanka. Watching the third and final T20 for talkSPORT. Good afternoon, Sam Ellard.
Yeah, good afternoon, Fletcher. England 107 for 7 into the 18th. The 7th wicket just fallen. Liam Dawson going for 14. The 7th wicket partnership between Dawson and Curran was worth 47 runs, taking the score from 60 for 6 to 107 for 7. But Sam Curran is still with the crease, unbeaten on 48, just been joined by Jamie Overton. Liam Dawson picking out the fielder at deep mid-wicket. Into the 18th, England now 109 for 7.
Live ball-by-ball commentary continues over on talkSPORT 2. Next, Eddie Howe is adamant that he won't have another Isak saga on his hands with Sandro Tonali. The Italian midfielder had been linked with a move to Arsenal before the window closed. The Newcastle boss insists Tonali is committed to the club.
He's always going to be attracting, or our best players will always be attracting glances from other clubs. That's just the reality of football. We want to keep the group together. We want to keep being progressive. And, of course, Sandro plays a part in that.
This as Jamal Lascelles completes his move to Leicester. The club captain at St James's Park leaves after a 12-year spell. As for Newcastle, tomorrow's Carabao Cup meeting with City is live on talkSPORT. Tonight we bring you Arsenal-Chelsea. Next, Martin O'Neill insists he genuinely doesn't know what he's done at Celtic Park that his players seem to be responding to. The Hoops are unbeaten since his return and sit 6 points behind leaders' Hearts. Should he be able to reverse that deficit, would O'Neill want the job on a permanent basis?
Probably not.
You don't want it?
Are you serious, Martin? Probably not.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want it full time.
Yeah, but listen, lads, you two are young men. There's a difference. You're a young man. You're vibrant.
He's not young.
No, he is. But
And the rearranged championship meeting between Portsmouth and Ipswich has again been called off. Having fallen victim to a frozen pitch at the start of January, the playing surface is now waterlogged. There's more at talkSPORT.com.
talkSPORT News.
Breaking news, Lord Mandelson to step down from the House of Lords as Prince Edward becomes the first royal to comment on the Epstein files. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Get a free vehicle safety check at all of our 600 centres nationwide to keep you safe on the road. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Hill snow in Wales and Scotland. Rain moving northwards throughout the afternoon.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on Talk Sport. Coming up at 4, don't forget Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent back with Drive. We've got Arsenal-Chelsea for you at 7 here on Talk Sport. Hull versus Watford is our rearranged commentary game after Pompey Ipswich was called off, as Fletcher was just telling you. So choice of viewing, or choice of listening tonight, should I say, on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. And you can get your calls into the Sports Bar tonight with Jamie O'Hara and Colton Cole from 10 o'clock. I take it you'll be watching tonight, Andy.
I will be, yeah.
It's give it a bit of a lifeline, those 2 late goals, didn't they, kind of?
It's sort of, you can't travel.
You think it sounds like you think it's a bit of a free hit tonight, yeah?
Well, it is, because, you'd be amazed if Arsenal didn't get through, would you? I mean, I would be.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they're favourites. We're going to have a chat with David O'Leary. David O'Leary a little bit later.
But, these games, you get a goal, then...
No, you score early, get the nerves up, anything
We
can
haven't
happen.
been starting games particularly well, though. We tend to come on a bit in the second.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
On which subject? I think there was a feeling with 12 players out that Tottenham may have done a little bit more in this transfer window. There was all this talk of the Lewis family, the children of Joe Lewis pumping 100 million. Now, they were never likely to spend 100 million in this window, but maybe there was a feeling they netted off.
They said they tried to buy Semenya, which
that was not helpful. And I don't think the hierarchy would have been pleased for Thomas Frank to have said that. He said, I'm speaking out of turn, but the idea that the fans would be happy to hear that that's a player we couldn't get because we're lower than City in the food chain is not a way. I said, that's good. Who else didn't we nearly get because they didn't want to come to us? I'm not sure that is a sign of ambition. It basically says that people aren't interested in coming to you because they've got better options. Is that good? I don't know.
No, not good at all.
Ramon Vega, the former Spurs and Switzerland centre-half, tweeted earlier on, I am now more convinced than ever the owners, the Lewis family, need to sell now, or at least start looking for a new owner. Enough is enough. You've had enough time to address the situation at the club from a footballing perspective. Fans and even current players have had enough of the football not being addressed properly in line with a club like Spurs. So just say bye-bye and thank you. Ramon joins us now. Hi, Ramon.
85. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Good evening this evening.
Good. Oh, yes. Looking at a glass of wine. You probably haven't watched Tottenham all season. You probably need a glass of wine.
Let me first congratulate a very good friend of mine, Placido Domingo. His birthday just lately with that. I want to congratulate him first. He was also my best friend and also introduced to my lovely wife at the Ballon d'Or. For that point of view, I wish him all the best. But on the same time, he's a role model because he's 85 years old, still every week in, week out at the Opera House for 3 hours, immaculate, no moaning, no injuries whatsoever, and still performs at the top of his level. When we look at this and compare what we'll see at Spurs with these players, that's an example. That's a legend.
Do not let Placido play the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because he'll do a hamstring within about 5 minutes, Ramon.
Well, I think the owners will like it because they will fill out the stadium at least, make some money.
Thomas Frank does a very good Nessun Dorma.
Does he really? Yeah. Well, I find it easy. I find it very easy to dormer quite a lot of the time. Anyway, so I saw your comments, and I'm kind of in agreement. I've reached the stage where but, I mean, what's the likelihood of them selling the club? They seem very keen. It's making them lots of money, despite generally the mediocrity that we have to watch. So
they get a lot of stick, though. They can't enjoy that.
Why should they sell?
Well, there's not even a question why. I think it's very, very, very obvious now. I mean, we're talking now over 25 years, having the club really squeezing pretty much every money they can actually squeeze out of that club. Well, the most important part here, where nobody actually really talks as much, the fans were one of the most loyal fans I ever see, actually, by the way, paying hell of a lot of money, still today one of the most expensive tickets in the Premier League, and looking, as you say, very mediocre kind of football point of view. They really don't emphasize the football side point of view at all whatsoever. So for that point of view, if they don't like the football, if they only just want to do some business as such, search for a new business. But look to somebody who actually loves the football, emphasize the football side point of view. And that's why I say, why now he should sell this family. Because they're done now for 20 years now. They've done already a new stadium, everything. We've done all of that. Now we need football. We need really football people coming into. We need people who actually knows when they're coming into it to buy this club, the emphasis is football. Because at the end of the day, it's a football club. We know the new face of the new sports era with digital and new entertainment, etc., extra revenue stream. But we're forgetting the main topics. What we are actually talking today, it should be always still football.
Yeah.
And we're actually forgetting things worldwide at the moment. It's not just at Spurs. It's a global issue at the moment as well.
I'm making the point earlier on, Ramon, that I'm a Tottenham season ticket holder, and the extra money that the club has generated by the new stadium and the increased capacity and the more money they make from marketing and gigs, we're not seeing that on the pitch. We're not seeing that in a change of the wage structure, which allows us to compete to get the best players. We're not seeing it in the money that's being spent on players to allow us to compete with other teams, including Arsenal down the road, who have addressed all those things. So what was the benefit of having 60,000 people? I think we were all equally as happy in our old place where there was a fantastic atmosphere. We were seeing the benefit of that on the pitch. We would say fantastic, but we don't.
Absolutely agree with you, first of all. The whole marketing around the new stadium is going to reach extra revenue stream so we can invest more into the football side point of view for Tottenham. We have not seen anything of that, to be honest with you. Yes, they say they spent 500-600 million, etc. But the problem is the management side point of view. How do you actually really spend the whole football side point of view? Who do you recruiting? The recruitment side point of view has been absolutely shambled for years. I mean, I'm talking more or less more actually neglected, completely neglected that side point of view. We are seeing now players not even wanted to come to this club because they don't see a project. They're always talking about a re-project, a new project, etc. I'm talking to many players and coaches around the world. They're saying that club has no kind of idea where they're going. It's a kind of a great way for coaches, for players, because every time you go there, it's a negative, it's toxic, and horrible kind of environment. Now the fans even experience that in the stadium. It's awful atmosphere. If the football is not good, listen, I was a player. Sometimes the football doesn't always going to be top, but at least the excitement, and the player, in those days we had David Ginola and all this. We don't have all this excitement today. It's still an entertainment side point of view. And one thing is missing in here is the football knowledge within that management. That management, even the new management now here, I have to be honest, I don't see that are capable to do this at all. And we see it now very much, even from Frank's point of view. I told you from the beginning, I'm not a Frank fan at all whatsoever. He's not suitable for this club, whatever. But on top of that, he doesn't even get a good quality support behind. That's even worse. So you got two major problems there where the football club really needs to act very, very, very quickly. Either sell very quickly, but also to the right people. That's a very important point of view. Or just make sure you have a good partner who invested into it, who looks after the football side in a very good way.
They also have to look into the medical department there. I mean, everybody has injuries, and some injuries are completely unavoidable. But 12 players out is and made it difficult because
Really?
you want to go and buy people, but you've still got to pay those 12 players.
That's right. This is the third season running. I mean, they've changed. They've changed personnel in the medical department, but it doesn't seem to have made a lot of difference. They just seem to rack up key injury after key injury. Not all of them muscle injuries. It's a mixture. Some are unlucky, clearly, but that's just been an ongoing issue, hasn't it, Ramon?
Absolutely. Now they're saying, Ange never had this support with Frank had. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. Okay, Ange was not even moaning about it as much as one point of view. He was going on. He was a stable character, and you can see the dressing room was reacting on him. What I don't feel with this manager, this dressing room does not react to him. I'm not sure if they even respect him. You always see it once. One half of the first game is terrible. Then the second half, once the players say, that's it, we're going to do our own way, and they go pretty much going forward like they used to play Ange, suddenly you're going to more excitement side. So I see here a very, very different approach even to Frank. Why does he have that kind of credit when he actually comes from a background he has not won anything, not even in the Premier League or any other places he was managing, when Ange was actually winning something and actually won something here, and it was absolutely completely hammered last year. Even with major injury, he still to win a very European Cup, where Spurs again over 25 years not won something, and there was an excitement there in those days. You as a fan, as you can see, the high street was full, it was packed, the fans were excited, the atmosphere was there. They're destroyed by actually sacking him. There was a fall down. Yes, maybe people didn't like him, did not, but the atmosphere, the excitement, they actually won something as a club from a fan point of view. That's the beauty. I experienced that as a League Cup winner. I remember at Wembley, we had a terrible phase for 2-3 years, and suddenly the 99 League Cup was like, wow. The whole fan base was really excited. And you can see how many fans in North London, in London, was Spurs fan. You can really see that. That's why you see the strength of that fan base. And this fan base does not get what they paying for, especially one of the most expensive tickets in the Premier League.
Ramon, always a pleasure. Give our best to Placido Domingo, and we will catch up with you soon.
Ballon d'Or.
Thank you very much.
Take care. There's Ramon Vega there.
Yes.
A couple of glasses of wine in, clearly.
Obviously.
But always very passionate. He does. I mean, like, he didn't have the easiest times at Spurs. You know, he had fans turn on him at times. But he is passionate about the club.
You saw on Sunday, the fans are great. They got behind the team in the second half.
This is honestly,
and the atmosphere changed, and the whole thing changed.
A couple of things very quickly that annoy me. The free pass, as I said before, Thomas Frank isn't to blame for everything that's going on at this club. He clearly isn't. Ramon's just outlining, but he isn't blameless. And I get quite fed up with the free pass he gets from pundits on telly who say, "Oh, I feel sorry for Thomas Frank." There's elements of it you should feel sorry for, but he gets a free pass from a lot of pundits who watch us like once a month when they do telly. If you're watching us every week and you're sort of looking at everything that's going on in the club, you may have a slightly different attitude. But as I said,
they just look so much better when they go for it.
He's not to blame for
anything.
And this is a fan base that's desperate to enjoy its football. You saw that in the second half when they got on the front foot the other day. The atmosphere was fantastic. It often is. You're not asking for a lot. You're just asking for a team to attack and look like they want to still be in a game, not just sort of sit there and wait to get beaten. Anyway, our thanks to Ramon. Your thoughts on that, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. Angry Ginge may not be quite as angry as he used to be. We're going to find out in a moment because Michael Carrick's turned things around at Old Trafford. Only a couple of games to go before that bloke can get his hair cut.
I hope they win the next one but lose the one after.
Imagine that. He'll make an appointment at the Barbers, won't he? Well, it's us, isn't it, of the weekend? Anyway, Angry Ginge joining us for a chat. We're going to talk a bit of darts, bit of football, and lots more besides. And David O'Leary will be joining us before 4 o'clock as well to look ahead to Arsenal versus Chelsea live on talkSPORT this evening. England 127 for 9. Sam Curran's gone after a pretty creditable 58. He did very well. 58 for Sam Curran. 127 for 9. I mean, it's no total, really, is it? So
depends,
It depends what the wicket does, but yeah. Okay, 1 ball to go in the innings. And
one big over at the start of the innings, and then the chase will be sort of
that could be it. Anyway, that's all to come. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Tool Station. Tottenham 2, Manchester City 2, a result I didn't really expect at all at half-time. The sad thing was,
game of two halves.
I know there was a lot of talk about the atmosphere, but the atmosphere wasn't angry in that first half. I think we all looked at the team and thought, wow, we could get it, our backsides handed to us here. And then the team kind of lived down to our expectations in the first half. And it was very flat. It was an apathetic, flat performance. We had no expectations. And then they suddenly came alive in the second half. And it doesn't take much. It just takes a bit of intent, just a little bit of belief. And the place was transformed.
The professional football people, of which I certainly don't count you two and myself, there's an illusion that the crowd must lift the team. The thing that works, and really the only thing that ever really, really works, with one or two exceptions, maybe the Leeds crowd can lift their team occasionally, is the team lifts the crowd, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Sure.
The two most important moments in that game, one was invisible and one did not result in a goal. The invisible one was the save by Vicario from Ryan Cherky, which was given as a goal kick. If that had gone in, it could have been anything by half-time. The goalkeeper got no credit for it, but he stopped it and changed the game. And the second one, the moment the game changes, is when Spurs come out, depleted further by the loss of their captain, into a new system, and they have one good move. They had nothing in the first half. Udogie has that shot, saved by Donnarumma, and that convinces them and the crowd that they can still get something in the game. And from that moment on, against a Manchester City team, I think they're a waxwork, Manchester City. They might win the title, I don't know, but I think they're a waxwork of the great Manchester City teams, by which I mean is they look like Manchester City from a distance, but as soon as you turn up the central heating, they're inclined to melt away into a sky blue blob, which is what you saw in the latter half of the game.
Yeah. In the final T20 of the series between Sri Lanka and England, England's innings has come to an end. Sam Ellard's got all the details.
Yeah, England winning the toss, batting first. 128 for 9 from 20 overs. They were 60 for 6 at the halfway stage. England all over the place on a slow wicket. 5 of the top 7 didn't reach double figures. There was some turn for the spinners, and Shamira, the seamer, picked up a fifer. But Sam Curran played sensibly, coming in at 6. He put on 47 for the 7th wicket with Dawson. They didn't take many risks. Wanted to bat through. He passed 50 from 44 balls, just a second T20 half century for England. He lost his wicket off the penultimate ball of the innings, but that was a really sensible innings from Sam Curran and important runs. 129 is the lowest score England have successfully defended in a T20 international, and Sri Lanka from 20 overs, they need 129 runs to win.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gamble aware, don't all.
Hard.
Oh, ridiculously hard, apparently.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, it's time now for Paddy's Pick in association with our official... Somebody doesn't want to give Deshen UK any money.
I've been doing all right. So they were...
Paddy's Pick for our betting partner, Paddy Power. In Paddy's Pick, I'm going to ask Andy to identify a mystery sports personality who's made news headlines in the past and a recent past, and he's Paddy's pick of the week. You're going to get 5 clues. You're going to need them. 5 clues to work out who it is.
Sounds really obscure.
We're going to start with £50 in the pot, and for every clue you use around the correct answer, £10 gets taken away. Paddy's pick is all for charity. We're raising funds for Duchenne UK. So, are you ready, Andy?
I am. I'm not feeling too confident after that, though.
Well, I mean, your knowledge of I can say, your knowledge of women's football is pretty good, but still, this week's pick is a current women's Super League player.
Yeah.
With a history-making goal. Somebody scored a history-making goal this week. Did you follow this story?
Could it have been Miedema?
No, it wasn't. So we're going to go on to... She is the youngest Australian to play at a World Cup, 2011, at the age of 16.
Australian woman player, presumably playing over here, that I'd know her.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is hard, really. I think Angelina's sitting inside. Perhaps she should come and do this.
Yeah, that's right. We need some money. She'll know the answer. Yeah.
I've no idea, sorry.
Okay, Australia. Right, then I'll go on to number 3. She played for a number... This is really going to help. She's played for a number of teams down under, including Sydney FC, Sky Blue FC and Perth Glory, before moving to the WSL in 2020. Her surname is the name of a well-known car invented by Henry back in the day. Ford. Yeah, that's right. Can you...
What's her first name?
Her first name begins with
not Anna.
No, it's not Anna, not the newsroom. She's getting a bit old now.
Yeah, she would be really football.
So,
Gina?
Why Gina Ford?
I don't know.
What have you gone to... I mean, don't just guess names. I was going to try and give you a clue.
Okay.
All right, this is for 20 quid. She has scored 31 goals and 111 appearances for Arsenal. The name begins with C. Don't guess.
Okay.
Let's do it like a C-A-I-T. That's the start of her name. You got 3 more letters.
Caitlin Ford.
Yeah, well done, Andy. Congratulations. This money's for charity, for goodness sake.
Honestly, that is ludicrous.
That is hard. I mean, look, she played for Arsenal, and she scored the winning goal in the Champions Cup final.
Actually, I could have looked on this page. I had the answer page.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a good job you're honest. But I mean, really, up until that point, the clues are really difficult, aren't they? You could have had a guess at some
it's a
Arsenal
bit
players.
silly,
And you're someone who follows women's football.
I am.
That's hard.
I think.
Anyway,
Emma Hayes might have struggled with that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
As an probably not. No. As an international, she's scored 39 goals and 140 appearances for Arsenal since 2011. It was Caitlin Ford.
I suppose they did win the...
Yeah, she got the winning goal in last weekend's first Champions Cup final, beating Corinthians. So there we are. With just 20 quid this week for Duchenne UK. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Bar. But not that much thanks. Well, actually, Paddy doesn't set the... I'm not blaming Paddy for this. It's set internally. Anyway, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Only imagine if I'd asked that to Charlie. We wouldn't have had a chance.
No, difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, it's just a bit of fun.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We await Sri Lanka to emerge and start their innings. They haven't got a lot to chase. 128 for 9 off their 20 overs England. It's live ball by ball over on talkSPORT too. But stick with us for a chat with Angry Ginge, bit of Manchester United, bit of darts, and then David O'Leary joining us to look ahead to Arsenal Chelsea tonight live on talkSPORT.
sad, isn't it? F***ing sad. You know what I mean? I'm still shaking my head. You know what I mean?
Would you do it again?
I bloody will do it again. Actually, I think if I had been a bit more mobile, I might have done a knee slide. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That would have only got me a yellow as well.
Ah, David. So he got booked, Simon. He got booked, Martin, and he was. I mean, a lot of that I think is tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, if they say, okay, we'll make in special cases you can come out your technical area. No.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, the fact that it looks like a cross between David Pleat on a mobility scooter is a problem for him.
Or David Pleat.
Yeah, but the fact is that the technical area is big enough for them to celebrate in. It's been made bigger than, you know, back in the day when you had managers that meant as much to them back in the day. You didn't see Bob Paisley doing a knee slide, did you? The fact is that if you let a manager do this, then they'll take it to the next level.
Did Mourinho not do it in midweek then?
Well,
it's a bit of emotion.
Inconsistency. No, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's no need for managers to go on a pitch at the end of a game. There's no need for managers to run on the pitch and celebrate. They've got a plenty big enough technical area, and the reasons why I say that it's not as mean-spirited as David would want to perpetuate the idea that it is that if you give them this yard, they'll take the next yard, then they'll take the next yard, then they'll take the next yard, and then something will happen, and all of a sudden people say, "Why don't you stop it at source?"
I'm watching it.
I didn't want to be mean-spirited.
I'm watching it on a wheel here, and he's so into himself. He's not goading anybody. This is the manager of Everton Football Club celebrating
waiting for his hip
a late goal. Do you know? And it's quite brilliant, really. To be honest, he's just caught in the moment. I don't think we should be punishing him for that.
But is there okay? So what do you want then? Do you want subjectivity? You want rules or not want rules? Because you don't like subjectivity, and now you do like subjectivity. Because the rule is you can't come out your technical area, not to celebrate, not to do the dance of the seven veils, not to pull a Mooney. You can't come out of your technical area. Right?
It's like punch.
So you come out of your technical area. You want them, the referees, now to be subjective about.
I'd say take the fourth fish away completely. It's like a Punch and Judy show.
We're told Jean-Philippe Mateta's failed move to Milan shouldn't affect his performances for Palace, as his eyes are firmly on a World Cup place with France. Charlie Austin went through something similar at Hull and told us how Mateta might be feeling.
When he comes back, he'll want to come back and hopefully just start playing, performing, because like I said, just because he's stayed at Palace, he's still eyes are on that World Cup squad. Another deal that's off, and N'Golo Kante is not going to Fenerbahce. Saudi Pro League officials didn't sign off it following Benzema's departure from Kante's club Al Ittihad to Al Hilal. Now, here's what Gabi Agbonlahor thinks the Spurs hierarchy should be saying to Christian Romero.
Leave transfers, leave what's happening with players coming into us. And like you says, why are you kicking up a fuss a couple of hours before the window closes? Why not 2 weeks ago?
Romero's called Spurs' lack of available players a disgrace on social media. Tonight's championship match between Portsmouth and Ipswich has been called off again, this time due to a waterlogged pitch. And without wishing to get lost down conspiracy cul-de-sac, Simon Jordan's wondering if Donald Trump has Infantino's ear over lifting a ban on Russia.
Is Trump using political influence, given the fact the World Cup's held in America, to start the dialogue that starts to reintegrate Russia back as part of the arsenal of conversations that he's going to have with Putin to settle this war and ultimately make himself a hero in that particular scenario? Yeah, possibly.
Gianni Infantino said the football ban on Russia hasn't worked as their invasion of Ukraine continues. Ukraine's foreign ministers called FIFA's president a moral degenerate. More on that at talksport.com.
good news from an England point of view. Sri Lanka now 1-1. Luke Wood and Ben Duckett doing the honours, and so off of 3 balls, they are 1-1.
5-1 now.
5-1. Okay, yeah. Back to Sam Ellard a little bit later on, and it's live ball by ball over on talkSPORT 2. Now, we play the I'm a Celebrity music because our next guest is the reigning king of the jungle, streamer, Manchester United fan, and budding darts player, Angry Ginge. Hi, Ginge.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Ginge.
Hello there, you okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, good to see you. I know you're doing a bit of work with Specsavers, so tell us a bit about that first.
Yeah, here with Specsavers today, of course, Micah Richards has been taken over as the assistant manager. And of course, as usual, Micah thought he could try and get one up on me. He'll be learning about that the hard way today. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the game holds, and I'm sure he'll try his little tactics that he tries, but ultimately, I'm here to put 8 past him.
Is this the Specsavers looking for the worst team in the country again?
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, they meant to improve the team, and they've got Micah Richards in. So I think the first season ever, they're going to go backwards.
Bit of City United.
The team that won it last year, we spoke to them on the show. They got a fair bit of notoriety, and things picked up for them. So they'll be hoping you and Micah can work your magic.
Well, yeah. Listen, I mean, from looking at the videos, they don't need magic; they need a bloody miracle, mate. But listen, as long as Micah does his best, that's all they can hope for.
Yeah. Now, things are picking up for your team as well, aren't they, Manchester? We're just saying you've gone from angry Ginge. You just ginge at the moment because Michael Carrick's coming, because it's feeling a whole lot better at your place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so much better. Even the atmosphere at Old Trafford when you go there now, it's so much more lively. We've definitely turned it around as so far. Of course, there's still, I think, 12 games left this season, so don't count your chickens before your eggs have hatched. But from what we're seeing, there's vast improvements. Players are playing to their strengths, and we're enjoying what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing once a week, and everybody around them is playing twice a week. They've played a lot less games than everybody else already. So it's in their favour. They should finish top 4, definitely, but even higher, possibly.
Yeah, I think we definitely get top 4. I think the 1 game a week and 2 games a week, that's not our problem, is it? We got knocked out, so we'll if we can only play one, we'll play one. If the other teams want to try and for the other trophies, let them. But at the end of the day, we're doing what's best for us, and overall, at the minute, it's going very well.
Would you like to see him stay? I know it's very early on and nobody's got to make a call on it at the moment, but I mean, he's got a pretty good chance of getting it full time based on what we've seen so far.
Well, I mean, his first game was against Man City, who was second in the league, and he we almost took the mick out of Man City. Then the second game was top of the league, the best team in England at the minute, apparently. And we took the mick there as well. And then we did the job versus Fulham. If it carries on like that, I think he's earned the right to get the job.
God, blimey, honestly, talk about change of mood.
Well, it's bound to be, isn't it?
3 games, for goodness'
sake. I mean,
sake.
yeah, you say that.
Honestly.
Should that bloke, I mean,
It's only 3 games, but I mean, the way we played City off the park, it should have been 6-0 that day.
Wow! Look, you've got to be enjoying yourself. I don't blame you for that. That lad can now think about getting his hair cut. We were saying earlier on. So I mean, you're all rooting for him to get the 5 wins, so because he can get rid of that terrible Barnett he's got at the moment.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that adds a bit of pressure to the players. That more than anything.
It probably does.
I think a lot of them are thinking about that poor lad.
Imagine sitting behind him at Old Trafford. Must be a nightmare. They'll be the ones, won't they? It's like a restricted view.
Does he go, though? Is he a match-going
I don't know if he's a match-going fan or not. So yeah, it's an interesting time to you. But what's being the king of the jungle? What difference has that made? You're a bit of a familiar face to people anyway, if they see you on social media and stuff. But I suppose it gives you a kind of different sort of fame, doesn't it, when you're on ITV every night?
Yeah, it's a bit different. You get stopped a bit more in public and stuff like that. But in terms of what I do when I got back, the first time, I think the same day I landed, I went straight to the gym and cracked on as usual. And then obviously enjoyed Christmas. And then I just crack on, same old. Nothing changed for me day to day personally.
Yeah. Now, you've been playing a bit of darts. Your mates were Luke Littler, who used to sort of followed you in your streaming days. But is that right? You fancy going to tour school? You think you got a chance?
No, I don't think I've got a chance, if I'm being totally honest with you. But yeah, Q School, I mean, more for the experience. What harm can it do? Just go there, see what it's about, enjoy it, take it in, and then obviously, in my opinion, I'm half decent for the amount of play. So if I ever wanted to, in a few years, lock in and practice for the 4 or 5 hours a day, and you never know, nothing's impossible.
Have you played against Luke? What does he say about your darts?
Well, Luke says I'm actually quite decent. I think I've played against him a couple of times, and every time I've took a leg off him, and then I played him. I think it was early last year, and I missed one dart double to beat him.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's impressive. You must be quite good.
That's sounding pretty good, but you don't. As you say, you'd have to put the hours in if you wanted to take it seriously.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to rock up and think I've got a chance. I'm going to be honest. I'll rock up. I probably won't even win a game. Never mind a leg. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens. See what it's about, and then you never know. In a few years, I might lock in and try.
What is the process for Q School then, Ginge? What do you have to do? You have to just sort of register your interest. You go along and play in a sort of tournament in a sports centre somewhere and hope to go through the rounds.
Yeah, so you you don't have to register your interest. Apply. You got to pay to turn up, and then once you get paid through, when you get put through, you'll play your rounds. There's a couple of rounds of it, and then if you win Q School, you get a tour card.
And when's your first game? Do you know when you're going to be doing it?
Well, Q School won't be until I believe January next year. So I've got a fair bit to wait yet.
You got plenty of time to practice. I saw Luke Littler saying that he'll never be as good as the Power. This was after Luke Humphreys says he feels that he is the greatest that Luke Littler is the greatest darts player that has ever lived. But I mean, yeah, what do you make of that as someone who's a pal of his?
I think Luke Littler is well within his way to becoming the best dart player to ever live. I think the thing that makes Phil so iconic is his consistency over so many years and his record of 16 world titles. I think Luke Littler, I think everyone around him and only watches darts understands he's more than capable of that. But I mean, it's up to Luke really what he wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's 16 world titles with the level of competition. Not that Phil the Power didn't have competition, but it feels like it's a harder thing to achieve these days, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you compare the averages from back in the day to now, and then also the crowds with the booing, etc., it's a totally different game. It's modernised. It's totally different. But at the end of the day, you can only play against who you're up against.
Yeah, absolutely. And you still playing a bit? We've seen you at Soccer Aid and stuff.
Yeah. You scored, didn't you, last year? I'm pretty sure. I remember right.
No, I didn't score. I got man of the match though. So
I knew you'd done well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if selected this year, you'll go again, will you? Oh, have we lost Ginge there?
Oh no! Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you get a chance to play again, you'd be up for it. I take it, Ginge. You have to play in Soccer Aid.
Oh, 100%. I would never turn that down. Never in a million years.
What were the pinch me moments then when you looked around you and the other players you were playing with? Can you remember?
Yeah, I think that there was a time someone went down injured. I was just stood there chatting to Gary Neville and Michael Carrick, which is unbelievable. And then obviously going into the changing rooms, Wayne Rooney, playing against the likes of Tevez, Trezeguet. And then I think the biggest pinch me moment was when the crowd were chanting Angry Ginge at Old Trafford. So I thought, yeah, that was nothing will ever get better than that.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Well, look, good to talk to you. All the best. Thanks very much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you very much.
There we are, Mr. King of the Jungle, Manchester United supporting Angry Ginge.
You've got to hear this text, this redundant to this. Somebody wrote to the Star this morning that said, while Carrick is doing well, it's on the back of what Ruben Amorim had built at Manchester United.
He's piggybacked off his achievements.
How could you look at that?
Does that come from R. Amorim of Portugal?
Notts Magpie, whoever he is or she is.
Yeah,
honestly. That was just ludicrous. England, very poor bit of fielding by Bethel. The ball was, one of those where they throw it up and they go to catch it. Well, he did all that bit, but then he didn't catch it. He dropped the bit that he threw up.
Oh, no.
That's pardon the expression.
14 for 1. Are we going to watch this again?
Yeah, watch. Right, there you go. So he throws it up. Oh, anyway, it would have been a 6 anyway. His feet.
Oh, yeah, his feet have gone over.
His feet hit the thing as he had the ball in his hand, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
There we are. So 14 for 1, Sri Lanka, and it's live over on talkSPORT 2, ball-by-ball commentary. We're going to be having a chat with David O'Leary very shortly. And that game between Manchester United and Spurs this weekend, 12:30 kickoff. It's our kicks off our weekend on game day. So
this game's over now.
You'll hear that
Just
game.
a couple of sixes. I told you that's all it needed.
Yeah.
The England won't.
They are starting to hit out a little bit, Sri Lanka. But you never know. You never know, Andy. Okay, it's gone. It's gone, says Andy. He's called it. There we are. Has everybody agreed? 3:45, 31 seconds. Put us out of our misery. David O'Leary up next at 4. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will be here with Drive. And as we said, Arsenal-Chelsea live tonight on talkSPORT in the Carabao Cup. And Hull versus Watford is our game in the Championship on talkSPORT too. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Toolstation.
Arsenal are currently top. And Tony, it'd be fair to say you haven't always been praising this Arsenal regime under Arteta. Are you now being converted to the fact that they're title-winning material?
Well, I love this squad, and I think
this one, not necessarily back 3 or 4 years ago, is my point.
I think the squad couldn't handle the injuries. We had Saliba about 3 years ago, and it really struggled when he got injured. And like with Saka again, you know, in previous years, if they had stayed fit, they would have definitely won the league those years. I think Arteta's learned from it, and I think the way that he rotates today is incredible. He really does, and we saw yesterday with Saka. I said at the top of the show, you know, he got injured, and we was able to get the job done still. So that would never happened a few years ago. So I think they've got the best squad in the league, and if he keeps them happy, he's been totally supported by his owner as well. You know, Josh is, 100 million for Declan. All of a sudden, anyone I want, bang, you're on it. You know what I mean? He's been able to assemble a fantastic squad of players that potentially could go on and win the league for a couple of years now.
So when you look at it now, you talk about the strength and depth. Do you think there's anything else they actually need? It may be a bit short time now to do it in this transfer window, but to go on and dominate?
I think they're all right for now. Central defender-wise, I like the cad at Palace, the central defender. Gare, is it?
Gay.
Yeah, Gay.
He's gone to City.
He's gone to City. I liked him. I thought he would have been good. I like the Villa guy as well, Konza. I think he's quite strong. But they've got Saliba and Gabriel, which is pretty much the best under Calafiori can slop in. So I don't see that as an area of yet that could have been strengthened. But they've assembled, like I said.
Now, there was an era in which a visit from Chelsea to the Emirates would unsettle Arsenal, but it's been 4.5 years.
Can beat anyone on the day. Make no bones about that. And any home record the team's unbeaten is there to be broken.
And then Garnacho volleys it into the ground and beyond a crowd of players to give Chelsea hope.
It's about time now. One trophy for Arteta is not enough.
This League Cup, they'll look at this and say, look, can we get one in the bank already? Which gives everybody confidence, everybody a belief they can win more.
Chelsea 3, West Ham 2. Enzo Fernandez, the skipper, to get Chelsea right out of trouble here.
The Chelsea fans' demand of their managers is that they achieve something, and he will be judged by his achievements.
As the group winning 2 trophies last year, they can play in big games, they can perform in big games. There's definitely a big game on Tuesday.
Feeds it back to Zubimendi, takes 2 touches, slams it into the net.
Yeah, we have the home advantage, we have a good result, but we have still a lot to do tomorrow to earn the right to be in the final.
Yeah, those couple of late goals have certainly made tonight more interesting than they might have been, but still going to be a tall order for Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the
If it
Emirates.
had been sort of 3-2 and going back to the bridge might have been different, but we've got such an astonishingly poor record at the Emirates. So, anyway, we'll see.
We shall see. We know Bukayo Saka's not going to play, but Madueke did pretty well stepping up the other day at Leeds. Joining us now, talking to Leeds and Arsenal, is Arsenal legend David O'Leary. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon, gents.
Yeah, so those late goals have made it interesting, haven't they, tonight?
I was just listening to you there. It has made the second leg more interesting. But Arsenal really have messed up. They should be long gone by now. Got very sloppy and conceded 2 silly goals, really. But if you'd have said to them and said to me, first leg over there, you'd win, yes, you'd take it. But coming away, I was thinking to myself afterwards, good God, instead of putting Chelsea out of this tie, you're still giving them a little bit of belief that they're still in it. And I think the most important thing tonight is if Arsenal get cautious, whoever scores the first goal, and I think it's very important if there is a goal to be scored tonight, Chelsea get it first.
I agree. And the only thing I'd say about that first leg is Chelsea had a much weakened team. Arsenal played their first 11. Yeah. Chelsea had no Caicedo, no Cole Palmer, so, and I don't think James was playing. I can't remember him rightly exactly.
But they'll be full strength tonight.
I would imagine he will play pretty much the team that finished the West Ham game.
Well, he rested so many against West Ham with a view to that, then it's pretty clear that he is going to put out their strongest side, David.
Yeah, and there's a good point you made, because when I seen the team sheet, I thought they're missing some really vital players, which, as you said, will be back tonight and will make a difference for them.
Yeah, as you said, it is all about that first goal, because if Chelsea got it and they got it early, their tails will be up. There'll be a little bit of nerves in the crowd.
You know what, lads, you said, Arsenal over the last few games, a bit of a wobble of more being cautious. I think they've been, can we go 9 points ahead, or can we go 6 points, or can we go 7 points? And I've noted the last few games that they've played with this cautious way. Now, Leeds on Saturday, going to a team where fantastic supporters, team in form, it was like the handbrake had been taken off, and they imposed themselves on Leeds and played really well. And hopefully that's the Arsenal you see tonight, because they have the players to impose on other teams and score goals. But if they go and take a cautious way, and I don't think they will, and we'll go out and sit on what we've got, that could cause them trouble, particularly if Chelsea were to score the first goal.
How do you think Chelsea approach it, Andy, tonight?
I think they'll just go for it. What else have they got to do? They can only play one way, really. It's not their way to sit back. They'll go on to Arsenal, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
David's right, though. I mean, Saturday, I thought that was one of Arsenal's best performances of the season. They were excellent.
Yeah, you were impressed with them at the weekend, David, against the club pretty well.
Sorry, I apologise, Jan.
No problem.
Yes, I mean, Leeds, a fantastic atmosphere, fantastic ground to go to. Arsenal under a little bit of people asking a question about them. I think they kind of had a reset between the game that they lost against Manchester United, and went out with a very positive and an attitude that Mikel kind of asked them to step up and prove yourself that you're the best team in the country, and they did, and they went out. Their best players really played strong at the back with Raya, Saliba, Gabriel. Declan Rice was magnificent in midfield, and they played in a way that, seeing that initial 20 minutes off from Leeds, that pressure they put you under, got control of the game and ran out worthy winners, and it was a great positive statement. The few games before that, as I said earlier, I thought they played with a caution of, we don't want to lose this. As long as we don't lose it, we'll be okay. And I think Mikel got into them in between the Man United game and the Leeds game and said, look, we've got to step up here, and they did. And I think that's what we've got to see tonight. Hopefully they won't play with a cautious way of sit back and think we've won this now, because I think that can cause you trouble.
Yeah, definitely. Declan Rice has been sensational this season, hasn't he? I think he must be up there for one of the players of the year.
Do you know, I've seen Eddie Gray, which was fantastic to see on Saturday up there, and he said to me at half-time coming out, he said, I thought Declan Rice was a good player. I never realised how great a player he was, and he was magnificent in the game on Saturday.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, David, because exactly when I saw him play in the flesh last season against Brentford, that's exactly what I thought. I thought, blimey, I knew he was good, but I didn't realise he was.
Yeah, you don't realise what he puts into the game, the amount of work he does, the quality on the ball. Yeah. He brings a lot to the table, doesn't he?
And the consistency of him, and wanting to play and available for every match, really, which is the energy and what he gets through in a game, the amount of mileage he covers in the game, and he's at the back, he's at the front, everywhere. And to be saying that he's willing and he's available every week to do that, he has amazing consistency.
Yeah. David, enjoy the game. Good to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Stay safe, both of you. Stay well.
There we are. There's David O'Leary there, former Arsenal defender. And this evening it is Chelsea going to Arsenal, and it's live on talkSPORT. All the build-up from 7 o'clock. Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. Jim Proudfoot, Alan Pardew, your commentary team, Adrian Durham, your host for that one. And we'll bring you Hull versus Watford in the Championship on talkSPORT 2. Get your calls into the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Carlton Cole at 10. The cricket continues over on talkSPORT 2. Sri Lanka are 46 for 2 at the moment, and it's live over on talkSPORT 2, ball-by-ball commentary. But here on talkSPORT, building up to the live football tonight, reflecting on the window and all manner of other stuff besides, will be Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive.
I've got to talk about Romero. He's done an Instagram post, and I'm going to read it out for people out there. And I think it's a bit of a dig at the ball, to be honest. It says, "Great effort from all my teammates yesterday. They were incredible. I wanted to be available to help them, even though I wasn't feeling well, especially since we only had 11 players available